right, check 1 2 1 2. Are we back? I do believe we had a brief internet outage. Go figure. Kind of like the way you start off with the greatest day of the week. So, well, it's a Friday. All right, have a couple things yet to do. I think we did get reconnected on most here. One thing we got to reconnect is the phone lines. So we are working on that.
You are connected as the host.
Okay, we'll be back momentarily. There you go. So, for those who are on hold, we'll see if we can get you back. It's 844-844-3388. Got a Friday coming your way. Yeah, let's jump on down, see if, is this Burton?
Yes, sir. Greetings and salutations and peace and prosperity. How's that?
All right, that works. Thank you so much. All right, so we had a little brief outage there, I guess. Good to hear from you, Bert. How the heck are you?
Oh, I could say frustrating, but I look at it like every cloud's got its silver lining. It's like water on a duck's back or on a turtle shell. It just rolls right on off.
There you go.
Because if you keep hanging on to it, it just drags you down, don't it?
Absolutely.
So anyway, I wanted to say thank you to Pappy because I appreciated his conversation, but what did he nominate me for? I don't do these things to just get no prizes and stuff like that, you know?
Oh, he just, every once in a while, if we have a caller that we thought is an excellent caller, he came up with something called, he gets the Big Cookie Award. It's just kind of an accolade. You got the big cookie for your call the other night.
Well, that's good. And you know what? I forgot to mention where I got my trucking experience. When I ran away from home at 15, 16 years old, I became a carny, and I drove carnival rides around for about a year in a white pickup and also old Mac, bobtail type style, so we had to sleep every night. Then I became an 88 hotel in the United States Army, which is part of the Quartermaster Corps, as a transportation specialist. That was once besides my combat arms stuff. And so I learned about, I was a longshoreman, and I drove 3 days from Tooele Army Depot to Des Moines, Iowa, in a 5-ton with no AC, with skin in the middle of summertime. So, people say, hey, those truckers guys, like, yeah, you never slept next to your cot when the daytime temperature is 99 and the nighttime temperature is like 30 or 30 to 40 degrees, and you're on a cot with a sleeping bag.
Wow.
So, no, I'm just saying, I appreciate the truckers. I know what they went through, especially back in the day.
Well, and one other thing that Pappy brought up was your military service when you were going down, the chain of events and the Ranger tag. I said, I bet you could tell some stories of some of the things you had seen over the years in your service time.
Well, I have to say one thing. It's like, I'm not a Christian or anything. I have no religious affiliation. That's what's on my dog tags. Because I figured if I got blown up or something or died in the line of duty, any holy Joe could come say some good, kind words over me and kick dirt over me. That's just the way I am.
Okay.
And it's just a good way to look at it. It's like, I think that's some of the problems with religions in these. Everybody's like, I'm the only way, and you got to follow me or else, or who I say, or else we hate you. It's like, stop that.
Yes.
Just please stop that.
Yes.
And then so it's just, and like I said, I just really appreciate this little time of night when I cut everything off, electronics and stuff, and just listen to real people say what they got to say. And, I'm comprehending on what's going on with the Argentina beef. Also, when I grew up in Southeast Louisiana, because I'm originally from New Orleans, I had a member. I wish they had more cattlemen's association that would be more vocal about how they are and with the grass-fed beef and the grain-fed, because I know when I lived in Iowa that Arthur Daniel Mitchell, ADM, that's what I call them, and then Con Agway, I think, was the other one, when they started doing hybrid corn to provide ethanol for the vehicles. And you don't hear too much about that because it burned out the vehicles, because it was, I guess, such a high volume of alcohol in it or something like that.
Right.
It, I mean, like even the racers that I knew at the dirt track, they were like, no, I ain't putting that in my engine. But so, it's just that, like I said, I love to listen to you about 90 minutes. It depends on whether, if I listen to you for the whole 3 hours, or I know you're on for 5 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
It just depends on it depends on how my insomnia is raging.
Fair enough. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate.
Well, it's like, I wanted to ask you, it's like you said, I didn't even know about that. You said something about 60. I could use it from the road fee, because I live on the outskirts of San Antonio, the 1604 loop, which is the separation between like urban and rural. And so I got a Chevy 2002 1500 two-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I redeem whatever gift you were giving me?
All right. Well, you haven't got it yet. It's what we're gonna. I've got your phone number here, and I'm assuming that's a cell phone, right? Where you can receive like a text message.
Yes, this is it. That's what I was just not. Look, I don't care. It's like right now the battery's dead, and I'm gonna refill it with battery acid because I know how to do that. That's what we did back in the '60s. Like Paul would say, go out and at the battery, and they go out and change the fluids in it and put the. Well, we had the powder back then that you would put in it, and it would reach. I guess it defulminated the cell walls,
right?
Or desulfatized.
Yeah,
I'm discombobulated on the word actually, but I'd like to say one thing to everybody out there: like, be the best that you are able to be with what you have at the time that the task or the condition demands it.
You might get another big cookie there, Burton. What you're going to get, though, is I'll turn your phone number in this morning to Ryan, and he will get you'll get a text, and it'll say, thank you from Hot Shot Secret. You'd go to hotshotsecret.com on the internet, and you'll have a coupon code there. You place an order, and $60 worth of free merchandise and free shipping as a first-time user. And I would recommend getting a small bottle of what they call the Hot Shot Secret Stiction Eliminator that would go in the oil side, and you treat it based on the back of the bottle tells you how much, for how many quarts of oil, and then get a small bottle of what they call the Gasoline Extreme, because that's a gas engine, right? Not a diesel, it's a gas, right?
That's correct, yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I use Seafoam on it. I'm not going to badmouth Seafoam. Maybe it was just the reaction it had with my truck, but I had to replace the gas tank and the whole sensors and everything, because I was just like, well, I bought it used, and I was changing it, doing everything that you're supposed to do when you buy a new vehicle or a used vehicle.
Mm-hmm. And
I use Seafoam, and I've used it before with no problems. But this time, it just ate up everything in the gas tank.
I'll be darned. Yeah.
That was only a $1,000 lesson.
That's an expensive lesson. Well, you won't have that issue with your Hot Shot Secret. Yeah, the Gasoline Extreme and the Stiction Eliminator. The $60 will be enough to cover that for you. Yeah, totally.
Well, that's fantastic, because right now it's in storage because, like I said, a little problems with my vertigo from the TBIs, and we're working out some, I'm trying to get them with the whole health. The VA does have that, where they can allow, I usually don't take any pharmaceuticals. I usually do herbal teas. And I find out when they do prescribe me a prescription, I look up the alternative to it because I'm into that. I know what some of the side effects are to pharmaceuticals. Yes. Just because of my treatment for 4 years at BAMC, which is Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio. And there's a lot of things the pharmaceuticals do to you that, well, they call them side effects. Now they call them contraindications.
Right, and things you don't really want. And if you could find a natural alternative, that would always be better, right? Well, we have to pause there as we hit the top of the hour. Back after this.
Thinking about becoming your own boss? Transport Enterprise Leasing makes it easy with new trucks, 24/7 maintenance support, and now you can save right from the start. Use promo code OVERNIGHT100 to get $100 off your first lease payments. Call TEL today at 866-404-6289 or visit tel360.com and take the first step toward owning your success. Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Tired of the guesswork when it comes to your load weight? With RightWay, stay in control on the road and on the DOT's good side. From onboard load scales to Bluetooth-enabled monitoring, RightWay helps truckers and fleets cut down on time, fines, and fuel waste, all without hitting the scale. Smarter hauling starts here. Want more details? Head over to rwls.com. RightWay. Drive more, scale less. Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero.
Democrats have rejected every opportunity they've been given to put the American people ahead of their far-left base.
The Senate has once again blocked efforts to pay U.S. troops and Defense Department workers during the ongoing government shutdown. Democrats voted down the measure, saying it would give President Trump too much flexibility, leaving service members' pay caught in political crossfire. Republicans accuse Democrats of putting partisan politics ahead of the military and working families. President Trump says his administration is taking aim at international drug cartels, calling them the ISIS of the West.
Under the Trump administration, we're finally treating the cartels as the core national security threat that they really are.
At a White House crime roundtable, he highlighted signing executive orders and recent destruction of narco-terrorist boats. Trump was joined by top officials, including AG Pam Bondi and Homeland Security Chief Kristi Noem. President Trump says the U.S. will cut ties with Israel if it tries to annex the West Bank, calling the move a betrayal of promises made to Arab allies. Despite warnings from Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, Israel has advanced a bill to annex settlements, embarrassing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and angering Washington. Payroll services giant ADP is no longer providing the Federal Reserve with private weekly jobs data.
The company reportedly stopped sharing the info back before the current government shutdown, sometime after an August 28th speech from Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller. Waller publicly acknowledged the role ADP played in providing data, a fact that was already known. But the company said it's actively working with the Fed to make sure the information it shares is in line with its rigorous standards. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Wall Street closed with stocks higher.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 144 points, the S&P 500 rose 39 points, and the Nasdaq gained 201 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
With all the recent violent protests, looting, and destruction, some areas are considering either defunding or abolishing the police. At a time when America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most, some elected officials would rather create more chaos by playing politics. If you're sick of elected officials caving in to demands of the radical left, you're not alone. It's time we stand up and declare our support for local police. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom over chaos, then learn how you can help protect the local police that serve your community. Call today and request your free Support Your Local Police info packet. Dial 800-JBS-USA-1. That's 800-JBS-USA-1. Request your free Support Your Local Police info packet by calling 800-JBS-USA-1 today.
President Trump says he will not send federal troops to San Francisco, citing progress under Mayor Daniel Lurie, who asked for a chance to turn the city around.
We're going to let them see if they can do it. I said, I think we can do it much faster. I know we can do it faster. I think we can do it better than anybody. We can take criminals out that they're not going to know about, and probably they don't have the legal authority maybe to do what we can.
Trump spoke with Lurie yesterday, while Governor Newsom praised him for listening to reason. Meanwhile, Border Patrol agents arrived in the Bay Area for immigration operations. This week's tent camp sweep in Austin, Texas raises question about how other cities will address homelessness. Experts stress raids must come with support services. Recovery advocate Tom Wolf notes only San Antonio's Haven for Help is fully equipped, while Texas saw 28,000 people sleeping on the streets last year. A would-be robber got more than he bargained for in West Hollywood yesterday. An armed man tried to steal a retired professional fighter's Rolex, but the victim disarmed him and pinned him to the ground while his girlfriend threw the loaded gun over a fence.
I was able to disarm and take the gun from him. I had him pinned down. He was trying to get up.
The suspect was arrested. The accomplice got away. The fighter remains unnamed. AAA reports the national average price for a gallon of gasoline is $3.07. Mono County, California is up to $5.85 a gallon, while Harrison County, Mississippi is down to $2.44. For USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
With Transport Enterprise Leasing, you're in the driver's seat, literally. Choose your carrier or operate under your own authority and drive a truck that works as hard as you do. Ready to roll? Use promo code OVERNIGHT100 and get $100 off your first lease payment. Call TEL now at 866-404-6289. That's 866-404-6289. And let's get you on the road to ownership. Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
All right, yes, indeed. Yeah, I got the thumbs up from Pappy. We're back up. Okay. Guess we disappeared for about 10 minutes. I don't know. You heard the ding dong, and everything says you've lost connection. But Burton hung in there, and let me get back and finish up with Burton. Here on a Friday morning.
Yes, sir. I told you, yes. Happy as we say that, how they say it in Texas in Spanish, Mexican, Viernes, Viernes, Viernes. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. All right. But anyway, I was just going to say to the ones that don't want to do the medications, the VA has a program now that to the veterans out there. It's called Whole Health. And they work with you to get you off of the medications if that's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. They offer like stuff like Tai Chi and other holistic, That's what I call it, holistic. I think we have to do, like even Hippocrates said, let your food be your medicine. And I'm very sure a lot of the American diet is what's causing a lot of problems. That's all I got to say about it.
Absolutely.
I eat what I cook.
Right.
And I do eat beef. I eat beef and lamb and goat. I'm not, I kind of am a tree hugger because I grew up as a farmer, but my grandpa owned a farm. But I appreciate the value of vegetables and plant life. Let's just put it like that.
100%.
And then I want to tell you, we were talking about it a lot of times, the men that call up on your program, talking about the craftsmanship and stuff is going out. And, Trump would President Trump. And that's what gets me pissed off about this nation as well. Because everyone's like, Trump, Trump, Trump. It's like, no, he's the president. He's President Trump. And I said that Trump, just because it's probably been, I just hear it so much. Mm-hmm. But we should address him as a proper term. So what I was saying about, I just got a new phone since I moved to a new place. I was just getting rid of everything old. And went to update. I'm not going to name the company because there could be liability issues and such like that. But let's say I bought a phone and I did it with the internet service that they provide me also. And they said, set up by wireless. So I did. And I woke up yesterday morning, on Thursday morning. I said, okay, let it do its thing. Got an email, said, setup complete. Your app phone has been activated and blah, blah, blah. And then I go to call someone and it says enter PIN. And I didn't set up enter PIN. And couldn't call out. Couldn't even get a cab to get to the Spectrum store. So I had to go to a neighbor. And then when I went to the Spectrum store, they couldn't fix it up. And I said the name of the company, son of a gun.
That's all right.
Well, they said the guy worked on it for like a half an hour to 45 minutes. Said it won't factory reset. And then he said if you call them, you send it back to them, they're going to charge you for the phone, send you a new one, and say it was operator error, that it was me. I'm like, I did it with your Wi-Fi, with your instructions and everything, but it's my fault.
Yeah.
That is a big problem in the United States.
So I guess they got it. Somehow they got it worked out.
No, I still got a phone that don't work. I just bought a burner phone, and that's what I'm calling you on, because there was two different numbers. The one that I called on you on my first call is my original number, but this one's only $2 a month, so I'm just like, well, I'm just going to keep it, and when I get the other one working, I'll make it for business and medical, and this one I'm talking to you will be like family and friends and residential, and you. So, yeah, you just, look, I could get bent and all out of shape and everything, but I figured it's like, I try to tell people, it's like, look, let it be like water on a duck's back or on a turtle shell. Let it just roll on off.
Right.
Do what you have to. Do what you have to get the situation resolved.
Exactly. So when we send you your code, your discount code, should I use the number you're on now or the one that you called in the other night?
No, this one now. The other one is inoperable. That phone number is operable. It's just the device is inoperable at the moment. Okay. And only one day I want to say before I go and let somebody else on, I surely did like that last story. I don't know what you do in your breaks because I've never been a radio host or anything. I have no point of reference, so to speak. But the last story about the fighter, the professional fighter, I was just like, yes, most people should do that. And if you don't, you should carry a 45 because if you're unable to disarm somebody and pin them to the ground, you can shoot them. If they're assaulting you, you can shoot them legally.
Right.
And I would say shoot to kill because if you shoot to wound, they can come back at you in a civil lawsuit.
They're going to sue you. Yes, sir. Well, Burton, I'm glad you were able to call back and get that correct on the phone number there because he would have never got his coupon code. All right, San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, Shorty said, Steve, when you started talking about the mafia and the NBA, that's when you disappeared. Anything sinister there? I don't know. Soma said it used to happen all the time to Art Bell when he talked about Area 51. Is that right? We did kind of leave off there, talking about this scheme, and it's not like it's anything secretive because Kash Patel and many other enforcement agencies were breaking it all down this past morning. But defendants were using this non-public information, placing hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraudulent bets, mostly in the form of what they called prop bets on individual player performance, according to the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York. The defendants relied on a network of straw bettors to place the maximum amount of bets to increase their potential profits. Most of these bets succeeded, and the intended losses were in the millions of dollars. Now, according to the indictment, when Rozier was playing for the Charlotte Hornets, apparently he told friends that he planned to leave a game on March 23rd with a purported injury. Well, his friends used that information and bet over $200,000 on Rozier to make the under on prop bets. However that stuff works, it's all Greek to me. NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch says that Rozier left the game after 9 minutes of play. And his friends, who cashed in on his tip, actually showed up at his house after the game to count their winnings. He was one of those arrested Thursday morning in Orlando, just hours after the Heat lost to the Orlando Magic. Each defendant in the NBA basketball gambling case has been charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. So, they say it's an ongoing investigation, and really that, as Big Ed and Grump were saying earlier, it makes people question the legitimacy overall. I mean, there's so many in recent years, especially, that have been accusing the NFL of rigging games, accusing the referees of giving preferential. And when you have a game, I mean, I remember particularly watching the video after the fact. You had Patrick Mahomes in a game, and it was right there at the tail end. And if they got a first down, they would have had the yards or something. But in 3 consecutive plays, he's running backwards and losing yards, which they say at the end of the day, in the wagering world, that cost the bettors a ton of money. However, all that stuff works, but it raises those questions in people's mind. All right, looking at 15 past the hour. Let's get to Eagle this Friday morning. See what's going on. What's happening, Eagle?
Yeah, okay. How you doing? Well, Steve. I got a couple of things to talk about tonight, man. Before I get to this situation with the illegal truck driver out in California, I want to go back to this situation in Portland, Oregon, and New York and Chicago with these protesters. Okay. Now, by the way, for all your listeners out there, I forgot to tell you, I tried to tell you that last week, but I forgot. For people that want to see these videos that I've seen with these protesters, there's a YouTube channel, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about and what I'm about to say. This guy's name is Cash Jordan. That's the name of the YouTube channel, and he has videos of all these scenes that have been taking place at these different ICE facilities around America. Now, let me say this, Steve. Okay, I've told you this before about these protesters, these people doing what they do, and now the new thing that they got going on now, I understood that they had an incident today, and it's been happening over the last couple of weeks, where these protesters are blocking in ICE vehicles after they pick up an individual on the street. These people are blocking the cars so they can't make their way to the facility, or either they're trying to even run. One guy said that using a vehicle as a deadly weapon. They saying that one man tried to run over an ICE unit. An ICE man or a border patrol agent, whatever you want to call him. And that is a felony, and that's using a vehicle to try to run over a federal agent is get you exactly what you deserve in jail. Now, let me say this, and I think Donald Trump has already gave those people the okay. If I was one of those federal agents, and I have just apprehended or arrested somebody, I wish one of those guys would park their car in front of mine, because he wouldn't have a hood on the front of his car. I promise you that. Because if I give him one warning to move his vehicle out of the way, and that'll be the only warning he receives. The second warning he'll get is when my car is driving over the top of his hood when I'm making my way on down to the ICE facility. Because you can't let these people run the show like that, Steve. Somebody's gonna get hurt real bad. I'm surprised nobody ain't got killed or shot by one of these people in the last couple of weeks. But I believe that's coming if drastic measures doesn't take place. Because these people are going a little bit too far now. You don't know so how do you know that somebody's not going to get out of one of them cars that's trying to block them ICE vans and trucks from leaving with a gun, with a automatic gun and start shooting? You gotta put a stop to this before somebody gets hurt, and somebody gets hurt seriously, because they taking it a little bit too far now when you're trying to these people are not intimidated or scared of these federal agents that are only trying to do their job, and the National Guard. They've taken it a little bit too far. So I'm going to repeat myself on that one more time. If they park their vehicle in front of mine, I promise you it'll be the last time they park their vehicle in front of a federal vehicle. Now, let me move on to the other situation with this truck driver out in California. Some more news has come out on this individual, and it's not good. It's not good at all, Steve. I seen a video tonight on Bonehead Truckers, this other guy who has his own YouTube channel. They said that they did the inspections on this company, I forgot what the name of this truck company he's running for. They said that that company failed over 50%. 50% of their inspections were resulted in out of service. 50%, and I think they only got 10 trucks. From what they said, they only got operating 10 trucks, and they said that they operate out of an apartment or something. They say that they come from California, but the company is located in Indianapolis, Indiana, from what the video said. So, but the information about this guy is he came in, unfortunately, due to Joe Biden's stupidity while he was in the White House. The 4 years that he had the White House wide open, like leaving your front door of your house open, so just anybody can come on in for 4 years. That's basically what he did. Now, this guy here, Steve, it's come to be known that this guy here is not even, from what they're saying, that's not even his age of 21 years old. This because, like I said, there's so much false information that's being sent out by California, the state of California, to even get this guy a driver's license to begin with. And they're saying that this guy had already been detained by the immigration people, and for some reason they let the guy go, and he got behind the wheel of a commercial vehicle and did what he did. Now, you said yesterday that it's been determined by the California Highway Patrol, from what they're saying, the guy never put his foot on the brake pedal,
right?
As he came up on this accident. So he didn't swerve to try to miss it either. Like I said, luckily he had the camera in his truck. Now, here's the sad part about the whole deal, Steve, is as you looking at the video, it's the same way that guy down in Florida reacted when he made the U-turn with no remorse whatsoever. This guy here, you can see the same thing. They got a video of the guy sitting on the ground with his legs crossed, showing no remorse whatsoever. Like I told you this after that U-turn. I said, if I would have done something like that, I would have been emotional. I would have been crying. I would have been upset that I had just taken some innocent people's lives. There was no emotion with this guy as he sat on the ground, and with all the damage that he had done and the people that he had killed. So that's what's really sad about it. is that these individuals show no remorse. But you see, here's how it goes, Steve. It goes all the way back to Gavin Newsom. This guy here ought to be ashamed of himself. In the California driver's license, people ought to be ashamed of themselves for they literally giving people driver's license that shouldn't even be on the road driving these trucks. And as far as that goes, Steve, as far as I'm concerned, when you go into California, when you coming in on Interstate 10, 40, or 80, they have a checkpoint you have to go through coming into California. They need to check every driver from now on. Every driver that enters or leaves the state of California needs to be stopped, and they need to check his information, his driver's license record, his immigration record. I don't care who he is, because that's where these people are coming from. A lot of these Sikhs, or whatever you want to call them, they coming from that California area, that Fresno, the Yuba City area where he come from. That's where they coming from. And they might be taking Interstate 80 out of California, get up out of it to go into Nevada Arena. Maybe he came out of there, Sacramento. I don't know. But every truck that's leaving California needs to be stopped. And they need to check these people out before they're allowed to enter into any other state to operate. If California don't give a damn about what they do, then keep them in California and don't let them go to no other state, because we don't want them nowhere else in the United States. So I'm fed up with these people doing what they do, Steve. It's sickening and it's disgusting that people, and as far as the family goes, and as far as the family of those people that got killed by that guy, I promise you this, Steve, I would own the state of California. If that was some of my family members that got killed by that guy, I promise you California would be my property right now, because I would sue California for everything they own, for allowing that man to be behind the wheel of a truck when he was illegally in the country, when he couldn't read and write English, yep. and he shouldn't. I would sue California for everything they own, and that includes Gavin Newsom. So, and they'll put a stop to it then, because this is totally unnecessary for these people to be grieving for their family members tonight due to Gavin Newsom and Joe Biden's stupidity. And I thank you for taking my call.
All right, Eagle, 100%. And we actually learned more. What started, really, it got the ball rolling with this English language proficiency, bringing it all to a head nationally, was the incident with the U-turn there in the state of Florida with Harjinder Singh, who was also an Indian illegal alien that killed 3. That was back over the summer. He was one of the Punjabi drivers, got his truck driving license, of course, in the Democrat-run sanctuary state of California and also Washington state. Now, it was also confirmed this past day the driver involved in Tuesday's crash did indeed receive his license from California, as we all expected. But Harjinder Singh, we now know, received a work permit from the Biden regime in June of 2021 after the Trump administration had denied him in September of 2020. Now, we've all seen that horrifying video where he seems completely unfazed and unbothered after the minivan collided with his truck after making the illegal U-turn. Then, trying to flee back to California, ultimately arrested, charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide. Now, according to the new information, Harjinder Singh failed his CDL test 10 times, as well as failing the English proficiency test. He also failed his air brakes test twice and lied about being proficient in English, according to Fox News reporter Bill Mulligan. He said a senior official in the Flags office tells me initial results of their investigation into Harjinder Singh failed his CDL test at least 10 times in a 2-month window between March of 2023 and May of 2023 in the state of Washington. Also, I'm told Singh had failed his air brakes knowledge test twice, and that the Washington company that provided Singh's behind-the-wheel CDL training attested to the fact that he could speak English proficiently, which obviously he could not. Now, Gavin Newsom's California has reportedly issued some 62,000 commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens. Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier is suing the state of California and the state of Washington for issuing illegal alien CDLs as we continue our investigation into California, Washington, and Harjinder Singh. We learned Singh failing his written exam 10 times, took his behind-the-wheel training course at a private CDL school in Washington. That school will be hearing from my office soon, he says. Of course, we just witnessed Tuesday the most recent, another illegal alien from India that killed 3 innocent people, Southern California. Jashanpreet Singh. Ultimately, 8 vehicles, including 4 big rigs involved in that deadly crash. Of course, Singh, in this case, he was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs, but again, confirmed this past day that he had received his CDL in the state of California. I still have not seen any word about English proficiency in regards to that individual. But back to the calls ahead. Lease with Tel and enjoy affordable payments and support that keeps you running smooth anywhere in the continental U.S. Visit tel360.com today.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The Senate has once again blocked efforts to pay U.S. troops and Defense Department workers during the ongoing government shutdown. Democrats voted down the measure, saying it would give President Trump too much flexibility. Republicans accused Democrats of putting partisan politics ahead of the military and working families. President Trump says his administration is taking aim at international drug cartels, calling them the ISIS of the West.
Under the Trump administration, we're finally treating the cartels as the core national security threat that they really are.
At a White House crime roundtable, he highlighted signing executive orders and recent destruction of narco-terrorist boats. Trump was joined by top officials, including AG Pam Bondi and Homeland Security Chief Kristi Noem.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 144 points, the S&P 500 rose 39 points, and the Nasdaq gained 201 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
With all the recent violent protests, looting, and destruction, some areas are considering either defunding or abolishing the police. At a time when America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most, some elected officials would rather create more chaos by playing politics. If you're sick of elected officials caving in to demands of the radical left, you're not alone. It's time we stand up and declare our support for local police. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom over chaos, then learn how you can help protect the local police that serve your community. Call today and request your free Support Your Local Police info packet. Dial 800-JBS-USA-1. That's 800-JBS-USA-1. Request your free Support Your Local Police info packet by calling 800-JBS-USA-1 today.
At TEL, we know what it takes to succeed as an owner-operator because we were founded by one. The big secret? Affordable new trucks. New equipment keeps you moving, improves cash flow, and delivers reliability. For over 20 years, we've helped drivers take the next step in their careers. Call TEL at 866-404-6289 and use promo code OVERNIGHT100. We look forward to meeting you. We know being over the road isn't easy, but getting parts for your truck can be. Rainey's offers over 100,000 parts and accessories, from chrome to cab comforts, watermelon lights to necessary replacement parts. It's all available on our website. Got questions? Our team of experts has your back from start to finish with unmatched customer service you won't get anywhere else. Head to Rainey's.com to get $25 off any order over $250 with code DRIVE25 at checkout. Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Hello, Big T here with Diesel Power Group. Listen, if your truck's in a repair center and you think it's being misdiagnosed or worse, being overcharged for an overhaul or an engine replacement, you need to stop and call Diesel Power Group now. Allow us to build the DPG solution that is right for you, not the repair center. We have over 4 decades in engine remanufacturing experience and specialize in Caterpillar, Cummins, Detroit, Mack, International, and John Deere. DPG offers an industry-leading warranty and turnaround times. We want to earn your trust every day. Don't believe us? Challenge us today by calling 574-594-5888 or visit us at dieselpowergroup.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We are available 24/7. Mention code 374 and receive a $200 rebate towards your major failure repair.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme.
Today's ultra-low sulfur fuels leave injector deposits causing frequent DPF regens and low throttle response. Diesel Extreme is a once every 6-month treatment that will clean your entire fuel system, including the tank, lines, pump, and the injectors.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com.
Because Channel 19's a little congested. Call Steve now at 844-844-3388. The Overnight Drive.
All right, if you're rolling through Rochelle, Georgia, good likelihood it kind of smells like roasted peanuts, or maybe we should say burnt peanuts, because a peanut facility has been on fire since early Thursday morning, according to the fire chief. Fire started at the Doster Peanut Drying Field on Wilcox Industrial Park about 3:30 a.m. there Thursday morning. Chief says it's going to take 2 or 3 days to put the fire out. He said that a shed full of 20 semi-trailers full of peanuts were being dried and it caught fire. Now there are many dried peanuts catching fire after the semis had caught fire, obviously. Now, he said since the crews are still putting the fire out, the cause is unknown. But he said it's probably propane gas, since all those trailers were hooked up to propane to dry the peanuts. Got your roasted nuts here. Peanuts. Get your roasted peanuts. All right. Senor Heatwave. All right. Happy Friday.
Yes, sir. Senor, happy Friday to you too. Yeah, I was listening in on it, and all of a sudden it just went silent. I looked at my phone, and I had signal and silence. So I thought, called back again, got in queue, silence.
Yeah.
Like, I'll call back later.
It took a few minutes. Took about, I don't know, I guess it was just the internet went down brief. I'm glad it didn't last long.
Yeah, me too. I mean, hell, you're what keeps us up at night. And we miss you during the weekends, that's for sure. So, anyways, I had done a disservice to Miss Millie. I had talked to her earlier this month, And I told her, you know, she was like, I wish more folks would give me a call, because she misses listening to the show live and listening to the people. She listens to the show on the replays. You know, she's 81 years old, and she's getting by. And she's awful proud of Gabby, her great-granddaughter, and then the little one, Gabby's sister. I think she's coming around. She was born premature, and so I guess baby's doing well. Everyone's doing well. It just, I guess she just wishes she could get some phone calls from some people. So I would suggest at about 9 or 10 o'clock Eastern, give her a holler. And if folks don't have her number, I do have it. So, or maybe someone else has it that y'all like better. So, still didn't hear from Tank, but that's all right. You know, not everybody's got a.
I got an email from Tank here a little before midnight, so he did. He said I can pass this on to you.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Tank, that's great. Thank you. I mean, hell, he goes through 40 quite a bit, you know, and if I'm at the Hacienda when he does, you know, that way he can hook up and meet at the Mickey D's and grab a cup of Joe before he has to continue on. You know, so anyways, all right. Well, let's see here. Texas A&M and LSU. And I'm sorry, like I said last night, I do not believe Texas A&M is a true, I don't believe that they're a true top 5. And that's going to upset a lot of people out there. But it's just that, I mean, they shouldn't have played Arkansas that close. They shouldn't have let Arkansas be that close. But they did. And it's kind of like they're playing to the competition's level, not at what A&M can play and maintain. They just play to the competition's level. I mean, either that or Petrino has really got them boys there at Arkansas, got them fired up, and they're more willing to play for him than they were the other head coach and defensive coordinator. So I know I was talking to someone else about it earlier this morning, or yesterday morning, and you know, they kind of agreed, you know, Petrino, as long as he don't get a Harley, if he gets a trike and he doesn't get a blonde secretary, maybe a brunette, you know, keep that motorcycle on the road, he might have a chance. So, I mean, if you want redemption, that would probably be the job to be redeemed at there in Arkansas. But as far as them going to LSU, I think there's a 31-year drought of winning there at the Swamp or the Pit or whatever the hell they call that place. I mean, if they're going to do something, if they can beat LSU at home, I would say that would be a big feather in their cap. And I may sway a little bit more thinking, well, they're a legit top 5 team at number 3. But, you know, they got Texas later on to play next month. I don't know if they play Oklahoma this year. I mean, if they do, that ought to be at a battle royale, because you never know what teams are going to show up. I mean, the Oklahoma team that's been whooping up on other teams is the one you expect to see, but not the one that lost to Texas in very embarrassing fashion. So, I don't know. Like I said, it's any given Saturday or Friday or Thursday.
Whatever day.
Mexico State lost their... New Mexico State lost their game at home against, Missouri State. So now they're 3-4. The New Mexico Lobos are 4-3, and they play against their former coach this weekend in Utah State. I tell you what, I think this is going to be, you know, New Mexico never really has had a winning tradition. They've always been like the Chicago Cubs of college football, those bumbling, lovable losers. And it's going to take them a while before they actually have a dynasty where they have winning records. I think one of the former coaches and a former football player, Rocky Long, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, he gave him several winning seasons. Coach Franchione, Dennis Franchione, who was a football coach, he was at UNM, and he gave them a couple of winning seasons before he went to A&M and then eventually Notre Dame. But, they just have not had a tradition of winning. So, and it's not like they're a poor team. I mean, they've got players that made it to the NFL and actually have been to the Super Bowl. They just ain't had one that won a Super Bowl ring. So, and it's, I don't know. But, yeah, so we're looking forward to the game, and if it puts them 5-3, that'd be great, because then they just one win away from bowl eligibility, and they ain't been there in a long damn time. So that would be nice. And maybe they can sell more merch for next season. I was talking to Eskimo Mom earlier, and she was talking about basketball. I'm like, let's not talk about basketball just yet. I want to see how the football team does. Now, as far as UNM basketball goes, when Patino went to Xavier, I think he took about half of the basketball team with him, and the other half went elsewhere. So not only did the athletic director have to find a coach, and that coach had to find other coaches to help him out, assistants, he had to field a brand new basketball team. So he's got some transfers from his former coaching position, which I believe was around the San Jose, San Francisco area. He might have brought along a few of his players from that group. But, I mean, he's basically playing with a brand new team that they only have a short time to know how the other one works. And I sure hope they learn soon enough to where they have a successful season like they did last year, making it to the, won the first game of the first round and then dropped the second game to, I think they lost to Michigan or Minnesota or somebody. But, yeah, there's just no consistency at University of New Mexico, kind of like the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who you're going to get from game to game. And with the basketball fiasco of the NBA, kind of makes you wonder, and I'm sure it is, does it spread to other sports organizations?
Right.
Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Football. I mean, the way the Cowboys play one week and then crap out the next, I mean, you got 40 millionaires sitting there watching the Super Bowl ever since '95. So it makes you wonder. And I sure hope that that's not the case. But then again, I hope it is, because either way, it doesn't put the Cowboys in a good light, or any other sports organization that shows promise but just continues to, give you nothing but a handful of fertilizer. So, anyways, well, we're on our way to Banning. We just left. I drove through Phoenix here about an hour ago, and tell you what, the roads are busy out here. There's a lot of traffic, and with the Oregon and Washington State giving out CDLs to no names or Singhs or Punjabis or Raji and Haji, Eagle forgot to mention the 5, the 15 going into Nevada, coming out of Nevada into California, and the 101. My co-driver earlier, he was in 3 different wrecks in New Mexico. One where a pickup had buried its engine compartment underneath a Snyder trailer, and he went underneath the bumper, the back bumper. And then there was another one just a couple of miles from that, a couple of miles from where my hacienda is, and they hit so hard it knocked the cab off the frame of the other tractor. So I don't know what was going on there. And then in Albuquerque, at the big eye of I-25 and I-40, the interchange, another damn accident. And I don't know if it was due to weather, because we did encounter some weather there in eastern New Mexico, as far as I could tell. I even had earplugs in my ears, but I could still hear the rain or the sleet or whatever hit the cab. But whenever I took all over there at Flagstaff, it was cool, but it was a comfortable cool. And then it's just been clear and cool ever since there, from 17 down to 10. So, and then, I was listening to your glorious weather forecast. I'm like, man, you are just so full of good news with the Santa Ana winds coming up, and, rain and snow, and, a fire hose or a river of water coming through. It's like, well, maybe the old Farmer's Almanac is right. We need the moisture. There's no doubt about it, but I sure hope it is a slow soaking moisture and something that'll be with us for a while. Hell, I wouldn't mind having 26 inches of snow like we did a couple of years ago after Christmas, because that was a nice, heavy, wet snow. I think Albuquerque got maybe 3 inches if they were lucky. But see, we live on the east side of the Sandia Mountains, which is part of the Rocky Mountain chain. And Albuquerque's pretty much in a valley, the Rio Grande Valley, so they really don't get a whole lot of anything weather-wise, especially moisture. But when I do send clips of the Arroyo between east and westbound of 40, and the water is just rushing through like it's like there's no tomorrow. That comes down from the mountains, but it also is that there's so much paved area in Albuquerque that water has no place to go to but the arroyos, and it'll eventually go to the Rio Grande. But every time that does happen, we have bodies floating in a retention area before that goes into the Rio Grande, and it's always sad to see that.
Yeah. Well, in this case, I think most of the precip's going to stay, say from about, maybe Northern California northward. I don't think you're going to actually see a whole lot out of it, because that's kind of like where the jet stream is going to be coming in, off the Pacific. But they tell us cumulative rainfall totals between now and, say, next weekend, 3 to 6 inches in lower elevations along the I-5 corridor, as much as 6 to 12 inches along some of the west and southwest facing slopes of the Cascades and the Olympics. Snowfall over the high country is going to be, say, 1 to 3 feet. In addition to the rain and snow, gusty winds will accompany some of the more potent storms, especially from, say, now to Sunday. 40 to 50 mile per hour winds expected in most areas. 60 miles per hour along the coast and through the mountain passes south of the storm track. Now, this is what you may be talking about. The storm track that may occasionally dip into Northern California and spread across the northwest. Dry winds develop in Southern California as high pressure builds into the Great Basin. Stiff breezes to gusty winds, a.k.a. the Santa Ana winds, will develop through the canyons of Southern California. We're looking toward next, say, Tuesday into Wednesday, while the dry winds will raise wildfire concerns. The risk is not expected to be as high as usual for this time of year, due to some recent vegetation growth following multiple rain events that they had seen there in recent weeks. Hey, we'll return into
At Tell. We know what it takes to succeed as an owner-operator because we were founded by one. The big secret? Affordable new trucks. New equipment keeps you moving, improves cash flow, and delivers reliability. For over 20 years, we've helped drivers take the next step in their careers. Call TEL at 866-404-6289 and use promo code OVERNIGHT100. We look forward to meeting you. Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Diesel owners know if you take care of your engine, it'll return the favor. Hot Shot Secret formulates additives that help you prevent problems and boost performance. Diesel Extreme cleans internal and external injector deposits, and EDT increases fuel economy by up to 7.3%, scientifically proven by third-party testing. Add Hot Shot Secret at your next fill-up to get the most out of your diesel. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
All right, hopefully we'll get a chance to break it down for you next hour. We've got a lot of discussion about the beef prices, cattle ranchers here in the U.S., concerns and suggestions about bringing Argentinian beef in to try and lower the prices that was suggested by the president, some of the responses, right? Very in-depth breakdown written by Victor Davis Hanson of the Hoover Institution, where he kind of explains where the cattle producers say the plan undercuts them. Discussions of should the government control consumer prices, a renewed call for market fairness. I think Grump had suggested, and Lauren Weiss last evening also brought up the fact that the big problem appears to be the lock on the market, that the four big producers, I guess they've got a corner on the market, and that needs to be broke up if you really want to see some competition to bring prices down, as they kind of explain. Like I said, we'll break into that a bit more in the next hour. First, let me get to Plowboy here on a Friday.
Well, good morning, Steve. Well, happy Friday. Did you say they were really roasting them peanuts bonus size style in Georgia? Wow.
Yep.
Burnt sage roasted peanuts. Wow. But, okay, sports, soccer, gaming, crunch. Then I'd like to talk about the beef still, too. A minute. Hey, now, Steve, remember the tantrum I threw last year? Remember when the Kansas City Chiefs decided not to play your Bengals or somebody like that? You remember that game?
Absolutely, yes.
So they went to Denver and got their asses handed to them.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about looking like it was rigged, I'll put it this way. A kindergartner would have had better chances of winning that game than them yahoos played. I mean, They couldn't hit the uprights. They couldn't pass a ball to one another. They couldn't do nothing just because they didn't want to face Joe Burrow.
Correct.
And I'll put it this way. Well, I can already hear Grump and all my Kansas City Chiefs fans raising hell with me. It tickled me when the Philadelphia Eagles handed their asses to them. I mean, it tickled me because they deserved it. I'm sorry. Mahomes wasn't that badly hurt that he couldn't have played. And for even Andy Reid, he's just like nonchalant. I'm sorry. He should have been out there throwing the biggest fit. I think he ended up 34-0. Yeah, in the figures. I'm sorry that's where I've lost my love for that game.
Yeah.
Period. And like I said, Jalen Hurts whipped their asses. So, now here is where I'm going, and you may have to hold. Remember this bus we had here a few years back? This Argentina beef.
Right. Well, hold the thought there. We got to pause.
Ready to take the wheel of your future? With Transport Enterprise Leasing, you could start for just $500 down. Get new equipment, expert support, and a path to ownership, all with one of the lowest upfront costs in the industry. Whether you're starting out or leveling up, TEL is here to help you succeed. Visit tel360.com or call 866-404-6289. Use promo code overnight100 to get rolling today. Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
Fuel additives.
most fuel additives either impact performance or provide protection. Hot Shot Secret Everyday Diesel Treatment provides both performance enhancement and fuel system protection. Everyday Diesel Treatment delivers a 6-in-1 premium fuel treatment for every fill-up, every time.
Everyday diesel treatment is available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at hotshotsecret.com.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero.
Democrats have rejected every opportunity they've been given to put the American people ahead of their far left base.
The Senate has once again blocked efforts to pay U.S. troops and Defense Department workers during the ongoing government shutdown. Democrats voted down the measure, saying it would give President Trump too much flexibility, leaving service members' pay caught in political crossfire. Republicans accuse Democrats of putting partisan politics ahead of the military and working families. President Trump says his administration is taking aim at international drug cartels, calling them the ISIS of the West.
Under the Trump administration, we're finally treating the cartels as the core national security threat that they really are.
At a White House crime roundtable, he highlighted signing executive orders and recent destruction of narco-terrorist boats. Trump was joined by top officials, including AG Pam Bondi and Homeland Security Chief Kristi Noem. President Trump says the U.S. will cut ties with Israel if it tries to annex the West Bank, calling the move a betrayal of promises made to Arab allies. Despite warnings from Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, Israel has advanced a bill to annex settlements, embarrassing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and angering Washington. Payroll services giant ADP is no longer providing the Federal Reserve with private weekly jobs data.
The company reportedly stopped sharing the info back before the current government shutdown, sometime after an August 28th speech from Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller. Waller publicly acknowledged the role ADP played in providing data, a fact that was already known. But the company said it's actively working with the Fed to make sure the information it shares is in line with its rigorous standards. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Wall Street closed with stocks higher.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 144 points, the S&P 500 rose 39 points, and the Nasdaq gained 201 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
With all the recent violent protests, looting, and destruction, some areas are considering either defunding or abolishing the police. At a time when America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most, some elected officials would rather create more chaos by playing politics. If you're sick of elected officials caving in to demands of the radical left, you're not alone. It's time we stand up and declare our support for local police. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom over chaos, then learn how you can help protect the local police that serve your community. Call today and request your free Support Your Local Police info packet. Dial 800-JBS-USA-1. That's 800-JBS-USA-1. Request your free Support Your Local Police info packet by calling 800-JBS-USA-1 today.
President Trump says he will not send federal troops to San Francisco, citing progress under Mayor Daniel Lurie, who asked for a chance to turn the city around.
We're going to let them see if they can do it. I said, I think we can do it much faster. I know we can do it faster. I think we can do it better than anybody. We can take criminals out that they're not going to know about, and probably they don't have the legal authority maybe to do what we can.
Trump spoke with Lurie yesterday, while Governor Newsom praised him for listening to reason. Meanwhile, Border Patrol agents arrived in the Bay Area for immigration operations. This week's tent camp sweep in Austin, Texas raises question about how other cities will address homelessness. Experts stress raids must come with support services. Recovery advocate Tom Wolf notes only San Antonio's Haven for Help is fully equipped, while Texas saw 28,000 people sleeping on the streets last year. A would-be robber got more than he bargained for in West Hollywood yesterday. An armed man tried to steal a retired professional fighter's Rolex, but the victim disarmed him and pinned him to the ground while his girlfriend threw the loaded gun over a fence.
I was able to disarm and take the gun from him. I had him pinned down. He was trying to get up.
The suspect was arrested. The accomplice got away. The fighter remains unnamed. AAA reports the national average price for a gallon of gasoline is $3.07. Mono County, California is up to $5.85 a gallon, while Harrison County, Mississippi is down to $2.44. For USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians, only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Transport Enterprise Leasing, founded by a U.S. Army veteran, proudly supports those who've served. Veterans receive a $750 discount on their lease deposit with 24/7 maintenance support, national parts discounts, and interest-free financing. TEL is committed to your success. Call 866-404-6289 and use promo code OVERNIGHT100 or visit tel360.com. Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
All right, back with more there as we cross over the midnight hour there on the West Coast. Welcome into a Friday. All right, rolling into the weekend. We're down to 35 outside the secret bunker. Yeah, we're in that zone. We got a freeze warning as we head into the weekend. Burr. All right, we left off with Plowboy. You were getting to the Argentinian beef, I believe. Go ahead.
Now, thanks for holding me over, Steve, and I got one other thing. Here a few years ago, remember when they came out of that Cool Act? If not, let me refresh your memories. Cool Act is country of origin labeling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I hope to goodness your big box stores, if this does come to fruition, sir, don't get a hold of this meat and say, oh, we're going to mix it in. Or forget to say, oh, this is product of Argentina. Because I ain't trying to condemn a country, but we all know the United States, as far as it goes, our USDA, our QA systems, and our meat plants are some of the top of the line, even though we've got some problems. Now, Steve, how long does it take for us to catch some of them problems?
Mm-hmm.
Less than 48 hours? I've heard you say something being recalled, whether it be a damn wiener or whatever, because of great eyes and whatever we got as the USDA and QA. We don't know who they trade with. We might get that damn kangaroo in from Australia just because we found another outlet. I'm sorry for being so damn skeptical, but this is not going to help. And I'm sorry, but when it comes to this high-dollar cattle crap, yes, I admit it's good for the bottom line, but when you're looking at the herd being depleted damn near 75% from what it was 70-something odd years ago, I think we've agreed on, it's not going to help. It's not going to help our situation get any better. And just, I don't see it as a good thing. And I'm sorry. I love to go to the sale barn and next day on the radio, our family farm name got said because we had the fanciest cattle on the sale ring floor. We got the high dollar. But I just don't. $6 for a 300-pound calf or four weights just gives me cold chills. But I don't know how much you're looking at other issues, but I've seen a tickler. Remember that quarterback that came up out of Alabama to y'all at Cincinnati here a few years back, in A.J. McCarron?
I do.
Look what he's about ready to step his feet into. And I don't know how y'all are in your all's area, but down here in Alabama, we got something called a house divided tags on our, that's if your wife or your significant other is a Auburn grad, and you're an Alabama grad, you have a house divided license plate, and they're legal. But no, he is going to run for the lieutenant governorship in 2026 in Alabama. I think he'll have every chance in the world to get it. But being that you watch Fox News, look who's running for our governor of Alabama down there. The old Auburn coach, Tommy Tuberville.
Right.
This ain't going to be a match from hell in the SEC taking over Montgomery. I mean, and it's just, I think where I seen AJ had said that a lot of his spark had came from Charlie Kirk. And I don't know whether you caught this yet or not, but have you seen where I think Charlie Kirk's outreach has reached from 4,000 to upwards of 8,000 and more churches involved in organizations? It is growing by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but his death sparked a hell of a spark, and as saying that, I heard on your news breaker a bit ago, and it just steams the fire out of me. Is Israel going to try to go against our wishes and Benjamin Netanyahu's and annex some more country over there? If they do, I'm with J.D. Vance, President Trump, and Benjamin Netanyahu. Israel can go to hell. It's not going to work.
Yeah, they had what do they call it? It was the Knesset did indeed vote, but it's being referred to as a symbolic thing, as they're saying. It was just a symbolic. But J.D. Vance did lash out, not pleased. Yeah, because you're playing political games, I guess, as he put it. The vote from the Knesset, they know it's not going to happen. Trump's not going to back it. Trump says if they tried to do that, we're going to disassociate. But it kind of PO'd J.D. Vance as he was leaving the country after just having met with Netanyahu. And I believe Marco Rubio is supposed to be arriving there in Israel today, Friday, to also try to tie up some of the pieces of this ongoing ceasefire. But why the Knesset found it necessary to hold that vote to annex the Gaza. Come on, guys. That's what they're saying. What are you trying to do here? Are you trying to destroy all the progress we've made in the blink of an eye? Knucklebuster, happy Friday.
Oh, happy Friday. You too, Mr. Steve Summers. It's the greatest day of the week. Absolutely there. So I'll be home here in a couple hours. Well, I want to say this. I agree with Grump. There wasn't but 3 people that had my phone number that call into this show. And then I started getting all kinds of texts. I just blocked them. I don't even know who you were, but I appreciate all the thoughts and prayers when Tennessee was passing. But I was busy trying to take care of her arrangements and everything else with my daughter. So I didn't have time to mess with text messages, especially for somebody that didn't even know who they were. So I know they call into the show, and that's about it. Well, enough of all that junk. And those people that tell me what they going to do, Steve, I don't worry about them. The ones that are quiet is the ones you got to worry about there. So let's get a sympathized shout-out to Trucking Field, Captain Ron, Donut Man, Mr. Steve Summers, our gracious host, as always there. We need to buy some anti-gel because winter's coming on real quick there, Steve.
Yep.
Well, I want to give a special shout-out tonight to the beautiful young lady, Miss Brittany, down there in Texas. She's beautiful, intelligent, talented, charming, honest. So that's my shout-out for her tonight, too. So hopefully things will expound on that. I'm not looking to get married, and she ain't either, so it might work out. You never know. Steve, you got a full set of hair, right?
I do, indeed, yes.
Well, do you know why bald men have holes, Holes, in their pockets?
Why?
So they can run their fingers through their hair, see?
Oh, boy.
All right. Who did they pick for Ole Miss and Oklahoma this weekend?
They both went with Oklahoma, if memory serves here.
Well, if it turns out to be the other way, I want to hear both of them singing Hotty Toddy on the air Monday morning there. So I'll call back in that loneliest hour, Mr. Steve Summers. Hey, you got a great show going on there. So
all right.
I'm trucking on through Slick Willie country right now. So.
All right. Well, thanks for checking in, Knucklebuster. And they were, Ed Grump were unanimous on Oklahoma over Ole Miss Saturday. Victor Davis Hanson, breaking it down. What's going on with the cattle, the beef prices? Sunday evening, when President Trump told reporters he plans to import beef from Argentina to bring prices down, said the only price we have that's high is beef, and we'll get that down. One of the things we're thinking about doing is beef from Argentina. That's the move that Victor says the American ranchers feared. America first, says Oregon rancher James Burke. The independent rancher. He said the independent ranchers always dead freaking last. Ranchers don't need market manipulation where the government picks winners and losers in agriculture, according to a South Dakota rancher and ag writer. Ranchers need free, fair markets. Ranchers were put on alert by Trump's remarks when he said, we're working on beef. I think we have a deal on beef that's going to bring the price down. That would be the one product that we would say is a little bit higher than we want it. Maybe higher than we want it. It's going to be coming down pretty soon. We did something. We worked our magic, was his quote. That was the initial statement. Didn't really clarify. Most ranchers suspected Trump's plan involved imports. Now, unless the deal is to break up the cartel of beef packers, the outcome's going to screw American ranchers who are actually making money for the first time in quite a while, according to the mayor of Stamford, Texas. After tough years and tight margins, cow-calf producers are enjoying a strong market thanks to several factors, including disease concerns in Mexico that shut the southern border to cattle imports and surging consumer demand for beef. Beef consumption just hit a 40-year peak, back to the 1980s levels. Successful producers know to stick it out through the lean years and bank on the good. It is challenging terrain. Since 1973, the U.S. has lost almost 700,000 cow-calf operations, a decline of about 50% in just over 50 years. The beef industry goes in waves, and we ride them, says a sixth-generation farmer and rancher in North Dakota. The barriers to entry are too great to jump out when it's low and jump back in when it's high. So right now, we're enjoying the high of the market. We're reinvesting in our businesses, paying off old debt, and we're making money right now. We're excited about that. Government intervention threatens to upend the cycle again. According to John Rogers, co-founder of Western Video Market, this would not be the first time the government's pulled the rug from under the cattle producers. Lyndon Johnson devastated the cattle market in 1964 by making note of the fact that beef prices were too high and people should stop eating beef. 1973, Richard Nixon almost destroyed the cattle industry by putting a ceiling on the price of beef. In the late 70s, the first of two dairy buyouts instituted by the geniuses that were running our country. The ultimate disaster came April 1 of 1986 when the Reagan administration decided it'd be a good idea to buy out struggling dairy farmers and send 1 million dairy cows to slaughter. The cattle market was in the tank for decades after that. Many ranchers and cattle feeders left the industry as a result of that ill-conceived program. The expectation that D.C. should control consumer prices is a slippery slope, he argued. If the president is responsible for cost at the grocery store, the natural dynamics of supply and demand must be upended for political strategy. Price controls, market manipulation become inevitable tools of the successful politician. We expect droughts, blizzards, disease. We've managed through that for generations. Brett Kenzie, a South Dakota cattle rancher. D.C. politics with no regard for domestic producers and consumers that can change business dynamics overnight are impossible to plan for. Now the talking heads are saying we should have hedged. Well, they must have a crystal ball that I don't have. Beef remains the most decentralized sector in American agriculture. Other protein markets, pork, chicken, have consolidated in recent decades. Kenzie warns that beef is headed that way. More and more ranches are leaving the industry. Eventually, D.C. will run out of suckers like me, the producing class, who are all in. Vertical integration will become a reality. Quality will be whatever the globalists say it is. Consumers will find out what scarcity and expensive really is. We're just pawns in the matrix. Why the hell do this work and worry? No incentives or programs to build the domestic cow herd or bring in a young generation. Just cheapen it up and shut up, cowman. Beef costs have stayed relatively stable over the last 50 years. 1 pound of ground beef in 1980 was equivalent to the earnings of less than 15 minutes of labor. That ratio's roughly the same today. At the same time, input costs have soared. Land at $20,000 an acre, that's not high. A $70,000 pickup, that ain't high. A $150,000 utility tractor. From fuel to feed to labor to land, producers are paying more than ever to stay in business, many forced to downsize. Yes, the cattle herd is the smallest since 1951. On top of that, years of trade policies favoring foreign producers have forced many American ranchers out of business altogether. In the 1980s, imports constituted 10% of U.S. beef consumption. Today, imports make up over 22%. Livestock guys never can win. Brett Krause, a South Dakota producer. We hardly ever get bailouts. When prices are good, the government floods supply with cheap imports. Given these factors, ranchers contest the perception that American beef, nutritious, protein-rich, raised to the highest environmental and animal welfare standards on the planet, is priced too high. A hamburger full of high-quality protein and nutrients for $6 is an incredible deal, especially when you consider the cost of foods with far less to offer, according to the president of the U.S. Cattlemen's Association. Others contrast beef prices to the cost of nutritionally empty, mass-produced products. A Snicker bar weighs 1.86 ounces. At $2.69 a bar, that equals $23 a pound for Snickers. Many producers believe Trump's responding to demands from the big meat packing companies to increase supply and slash the premium prices they're being forced to pay for American beef producers. The advocacy group RCAF USA has long criticized the unchecked power of the 4 meatpacking companies that process 85% of our beef supply. Packers and retailers have become so concentrated they now control the market. A generation ago, ranchers earned over 60% of the consumer beef dollar. Today, they're getting under 40%. Trying to lower prices by inviting even more imports only speeds up the dismantling of America's beef industry. We don't need more foreign beef. We need fair markets and country of origin labels. Plowboy. At the very least, ranchers argue they should have the right to compete against imported beef with clear, transparent labeling. I don't really care if Argentina imports beef as long as it's clearly labeled, according to one Arizona rancher. American ranchers are more than ready to compete with the rest of the world's beef with their lax standards. Mandatory country of origin labeling would require the meat packers to label their products with the country they came from. That gives the American producer a market edge. Ranchers have called for this legislation for years to no avail. Now, Burke warned flooding the market with cheap foreign beef could turn ranchers against a president who has historically enjoyed enormous popularity in cowboy country. He said quite a few plywood Trump signs in flyover country might get turned over and used to patch up the loading chute. So they're obviously the big push, he is saying. Country of origin labeling. And what was the other? Victor Davis Hanson. Very well explained. Going after this conglomerate, the big four that are literally controlling beef prices on a national scale. They say that needs to be dismantled. So, say no to foreign beef, said Sneakers 123. All right, about a minute before news break. We'll get back to the calls ahead. Buckwheat's on board. Pappy checks in on a Friday. It's 844-844-3388. Right on the heels of the big counterfeit products raid in New York and numerous illegal arrests on, what was that, Wednesday. Agents launching a high-impact gang takedown in Wisconsin yesterday morning, arresting 22 suspects, seizing a cache of drugs, guns, vehicles, in a coordinated strike called Operation Chalkline, backed by 14 SWAT teams, dozens of law enforcement partners. The FBI Milwaukee-led operation targeted violent criminal networks operating in Milwaukee and Racine, Wisconsin. What did they round up? Yeah, pretty impressive. I'll give you more on that coming up here right after the news break. All right, lease with Tel and enjoy affordable payments and support that keeps you running smooth anywhere in the continental U.S. Visit tel360.com.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The Senate has once again blocked efforts to pay U.S. troops and Defense Department workers during the ongoing government shutdown. Democrats voted down the measure, saying it would give President Trump too much flexibility. Republicans accused Democrats of putting partisan politics ahead of the military and working families. President Trump says his administration is taking aim at international drug cartels, calling them the ISIS of the West.
Under the Trump administration, we're finally treating the cartels as the core national security threat that they really are.
At a White House crime roundtable, he highlighted signing executive orders and recent destruction of narco-terrorist boats. Trump was joined by top officials, including AG Pam Bondi and Homeland Security Chief Kristi Noem.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 144 points, the S&P 500 rose 39 points, and the NASDAQ gained 201 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. You can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 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 855-SHARE-40.
At TEL, we know what it takes to succeed as an owner-operator because we were founded by one. The big secret?
affordable new trucks. New equipment keeps you moving, improves cash flow, and delivers reliability. For over 20 years, we've helped drivers take the next step in their careers. Call TEL at 866-404-6289 and use promo code OVERNIGHT100. We look forward to meeting you.
Hello, Big T here with Diesel Power Group. Listen, if your truck's in a repair center and you think it's being misdiagnosed or worse, being overcharged for an overhaul or an engine replacement, you need to stop and call Diesel Power Group now. Allow us to build the DPG solution that is right for you, not the repair center. We have over 4 decades in engine remanufacturing experience and specialize in Caterpillar, Cummins, Detroit, Mack, International, and John Deere. DPG offers an industry-leading warranty and turnaround times. We want to earn your trust every day. Don't believe us? Challenge us today by calling 574-594-5888 or visit us at dieselpowergroup.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We are available 24/7. Mention code 374 and receive a $200 rebate towards your major failure repair.
We know being over the road isn't easy, but getting parts for your truck can be. Rainey's offers over 100,000 parts and accessories, from chrome to cab comforts, watermelon lights to necessary replacement parts. It's all available on our website. Got questions? Our team of experts has your back from start to finish with unmatched customer service you won't get anywhere else. Head to Rainey's.com to get $25 off any order over $250 with code DRIVE25 at checkout. Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Like the men and women who power America, the people at Hot Shot Secret work hard and play harder. We're the fastest growing diesel and oil additive brand in the country. We solve problems. We protect engines. We save you money. And more importantly, time. Hot Shot Secret. Powered by science.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
So again, the big takedown. Milwaukee and Racine, Wisconsin this week. A multi-agency takedown of cartel-connected gangs operating in Wisconsin, arresting 22 individuals on federal charges. Agents and other law enforcement officials executed 24 federal search warrants, leading to the seizure of 4 kilos of cocaine, 260 grams of fentanyl, 1.5 pounds of methamphetamine, 6 pounds of marijuana, 23 firearms, 3 vehicles. FBI Director Patel posting information on social media about the raids and the accomplishment of Operation Chalkline Task Force, calling it one of the most significant violent gang takedowns to date. Of course, in late September, FBI Milwaukee reported on another ICE-led operation in Manitowoc County that led to the arrest of 21 illegal aliens. 9 of the subjects were targeted for their suspected involvement in the sexual assault and or trafficking of minor American girls. Officials said the violent gang operations in Wisconsin do have direct connections to a major international cartel. They did not disclose which cartel the gangs are connected to, but there you go, taking them down one at a time. All right, what's going on with the buckwheat? How we doing?
Oh, we're doing fine this morning, Steve. And, yeah, I was just wondering, you're going about all these stories here with the FBI making all these arrests. I don't think they just got this information since Trump got president. I think they had this information for a while, and they're just finally acting on it. You know, it just seems like up there in New York, they were saying on the news that, you know, everybody's saying that these here are pop-up, you know, ICE raids and that, but they say that ICE says that they've been watching these, like up there, the street vendors and that, they knew about them for a while, and they just, it's not just going by the spur of the moment whim. You know, all this stuff is planned out. You know, they got the information. They know who they're going after. They know everything. And, I was just curious about what the news station I listened to, News Talk up there in New York, what they were going to say about the mayor's debate, you know, and they were saying that the Republican guy, they think he won the debate, but, you know, that Muslim dude or whatever is promising so much stuff, and people are so gullible, they think that they can, that he's going to be giving them all this stuff, but yet, you know, he claims that he's going to be getting all his money by taxing corporations and taxing the rich. And the problem is the rich can move. They're the ones that can move a lot quicker than what the poor people can. And corporations really don't pay a tax because they just pass that on. And people are just so gullible that you think they can get something for nothing. But, you know, everything has a cost. But, so anyhow, I don't know who's going to win the mayor race. I'm hoping for the Sleevo fella, but all the polls are saying Mamdani's going to win, but Mamdani, yes. Yeah, they need to have English-speaking names, and the people are running for office. You know, let me know how to pronounce them. But I got back from my run yesterday, and my dispatcher says, "Hey, we'd like you to pull this other trailer, and we'd like you to like it so you can claim that as your regular trailer." And it's about 9 years newer than the one I was running, and the reefer unit cools a lot better. And one thing I noticed, this thing has, I can see about as good behind me as I can in front of me. I got 22 lights on the side of the trailer, and about 15 lights in the back of the trailer. So I'm really lit up going into the city this morning. Everybody's going to be able to pick me out. But, right. A lot of chicken lights. But anyhow, this week I was up in northwestern New Jersey there, and on Wednesday, and I was seeing how pretty the leaves look, and so I was conversing there with Cream of Wheat. I said, "Hey, Saturday, let's go for a road trip, and we'll go and look at the leaves." And well, I get back on Wednesday, and I see a Facebook post that we have a family at our church that has a child with special needs. When he was born, he was not supposed to live for the first year. Well, he's 10 years old now, and he has a trach, and he couldn't speak, but he knew sign language, and since the summer he's been on hospice. Well, on Wednesday he finally passed away. So I guess that's going to change our plans for Saturday. We're going to be going to a funeral now instead of going out gallivanting looking at the pretty leaves. But yeah, it's family's had a tough time, so yeah, hopefully this year brings closure for their life. But it's not fun watching a loved one pass away, and even though they were struggling, he was a joy to be around. He kept life exciting and sort of like Ashton Mario Kart there, yeah, so guess that's what we're going to be doing this weekend. And it's anyhow. Brother Rambler there, he's not calling in much because he can't talk too much. But
right.
I do remember what he's going through, because right after we got married, I lost my voice for about six weeks, and I was working for a feed company back then, and I was hauling feeder pigs, and normally you need to have a voice to holler at them to get them going up out of the belly of the trailer, and without a voice, that was sort of hard to get the last 10, 15 pigs out of the bottom there. There was times I just sat down and cried and what the residue of the pigs left. But anyhow, Cream of Wheat there, she got a little tired of it, and she went over to the neighbors to find somebody to talk to, because she couldn't talk to me. But anyhow, my voice came back again, and it seems like now every time I get a sore throat or like a little cold, I always lose my voice. I don't know. I guess it's just we couldn't never figured out why I lost it there for so long. But it's it is what it is. But all right. Well, I'm on my way to New York. We got a bunch of eggs and deli meats and frozen food, and so and we're going to be picking up a bunch of stuff that's shipped in from Asia and India and stuff like that, and so we'll be coming back with a full load and going to the city with a full load. So anyhow, enjoy your show this morning, and we'll speak at you later.
All righty, Buckwheat, thank you very much. And I guess that's the way to do it, right? Making money there and making money back. No backhaul, right? No deadhead. Horse Feathers was kind of breaking this down yesterday morning, trying to explain about the bridge collapse there over in Baltimore. Update this past day says the truck driver, has been cleared of all fault after the collapse of a historic bridge in Maryland, the Carroll Road Bridge, Baltimore County, collapsing Monday when a septic tanker truck driven by John Cosentino tried to cross the bridge. By Wednesday of this week, engineers were still working to determine the best way to remove the tanker truck and other debris. According to the Public Works and Transportation spokesperson, our engineers are on the scene assessing the situation, determining with contractor what the best course of action will be in the short term and the long term. The driver was not hurt, but described the incident like a bad dream. The bridge had collapsed first, which had triggered the tree fall. There's a cattle fence. There were two big metal wires connecting the two trees together. When the bridge went down, the side of the bridge fell on this big metal cord. A cattle fence that was probably installed over 100 years ago. It's like an elevator shaft cable, very thick. So when the bridge collapsed, it triggered the tree to fall. All right, on top of the truck. According to WBAL, glass was shattered on me. A big beam on the bridge came down on me like a bad dream. The bridge, originally built 1879, refurbished in 2006. At the time of the collapse earlier this week, the bridge was rated at a 51,000-pound weight limit, considerably higher than the weight of the septic tanker truck. Driver said, "I've been cleared of all fault. They weighed every single ounce of my truck and every single ounce of the load that I was carrying. I was 10,000 pounds under the certified limit. Inspectors had downgraded the rating of this bridge from satisfactory to fair back in 2023 due to the decaying timber and some loose bolts. Those defects reportedly did not warrant an immediate response. According to the Department of Public Works, they inspect the bridges on 2-year cycles. Either way, collapse is still under investigation, but he was well under the weight rating for the bridge. All right, Pappy, what's going on?
What's happening, Steve? Hey, excuse me, I got the tail end of Burton's call there. Glad to see he called back in.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to touch on something he said and give a little bit of advice, if I may. Listen, I understand where he's coming from. When he's talking about protecting yourself. But let me just say this, Steve. If you're ever out and about or at your home and you're faced with a decision to protect yourself or your family, and that moment of truth comes where you have to use deadly force upon somebody to protect yourself or your family, never say, I wanted to kill him. Never say that. The words that should come out of your mouth should be, I needed to stop the threat. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Never make a statement that you intentionally killed someone.
That means premeditated?
Oh, no. You just, you don't want to implicate yourself when you're on the stand because you might be charged or in a civil lawsuit.
Yeah.
And you got an attorney. Why did you shoot my client's family member? Did you intend to kill him? I damn sure did. He came at me with that crowbar. I killed that SOB. You don't want to say that. No, sir, I didn't intend to kill him. I had to stop the threat. If his death was a result of my actions, so be it. I didn't mean to kill him. I was just trying to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me? So, but I get where he's coming from. All right, Steve, we got to have a serious talk here tonight, man. Karl Marx, right? Rules for radicals. Steve, I don't know what number rule it is, but it's in the top 10 there in his book that he wrote, Rules for Radicals. Accuse your opponent of what you are doing. And they are accusing Trump of being a king. Excuse me, Burton, President Trump, of what they are doing. Calling him a king. And Steve, the country was founded by our forefathers to break away from the king's rule that had his foot on the throats of all the peasants out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I'm not saying nothing the audience don't know here, but, this country was founded on individual rights, power given to the people, taken away from the king, individual God-given rights. King no longer owned you, no longer controlled you. Private property was granted. Steve, this didn't happen back in the 16th, 17th, 18th century. Before our country was founded. It was unheard of. Control the masses, man. I'm telling you. Now, listen, the other night, that was a good conversation with the two-time world champion bull hauler and grump. I want to remind Gilligan, though, there's only one two-time world champion manure hauler, and that's the monkey gouger. And we're about ready to reach out and try to find that man. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that that was a great call with them too, man. I mean, really informative, talking about all the beef. But they made a comment, Steve. Do you recall what comment the bull hauler made? And Grump agreed with him. You control the food.
Yes. You control the population.
You control the food. You control the population. And we've been talking for days now about how the left is really ratcheting things up. Big time. So, let me just say this. I saw something on the news. Remember the comment, too, I made about shutting down the government? What are the Dems really up to here? Are they looking at collapsing the economy? So anyway, when I heard this come out of the White House, I swear, Steve, that boom, what they said on your show just popped up in my head. Any idea what the White House came out and said yesterday, Steve? I'll refresh your memory in case you did hear it. White House came out and said that if this government shutdown continues, come November 1st, food stamps, debit cards will not get funded.
Correct.
Let me repeat that, Steve. Billions of people who has let the government control them will lose their digital debit food cards on November 1st. Now, I get it. This could be just a scare tactic, and at the last minute, they'll find some other way to fund it or something. Or maybe the Dems will suck it up and vote this thing through. But I'm telling you what, man, I saw some videos. There's a lot of these, I don't know if you really want to call them journalists. Some of them are real journalists. I mean, they don't have the funding to really get out there and do, like the one I said on Facebook. You just got this lady and her husband that goes around and goes into these leftist demonstrations, and they start just talking and trying to interview people, and mostly they're met with a bunch of cuss words, people trying to take their microphone away from them. It's not pleasant. Well, I saw a lot of videos where they went into government housing areas and asking the residents, hey, what's going to happen, man, if the government stays shut down and you don't get your food stamps? Oh, Steve. All the answers. Let me repeat that. All the answers were not good. They were talking about raiding grocery stores.
Okay.
Not after they're out of food, okay? The day this happens, they were talking about, I guess I'll be raiding grocery stores. I guess I'll be breaking back into vehicles. I'll be breaking into people's homes and do whatever I got to do to eat. Straight like out of a Mad Max movie. I mean, I get it, Steve. We've talked about this. If there's no food out here at the grocery stores, all hell is going to break loose. And people will do whatever they got to do to feed their family. Now, these people are dependent because they let themselves get that way on government food stamps. And if it's taken away from them, shish kebab's going to hit the fan. and we better be prepared for it. So we'll see what happens. Keep your eye on this. Hopefully, something will come out and we'll say, we found the funding. We're not going to shut your food stamps down. Remember about a year or two ago, there was a glitch in the digital debit cards for these food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? It was a couple years ago, and it was only for a couple of hours. And man, there was a little bit of chaos that was going on. Just a little bit, not a lot. But if every food stamp debit card does not work come November 1st, I'm just saying, be prepared. See what happens here.
So right now the
all I gotta say,
the Republicans are saying, are the Democrats going to continue to push it beyond that point? Are they going to realize that? Are they willing to push it to that, to continue to say it's the Republicans' fault? Or will they realize that the Democrats are failing to continue? All they need is the continuing resolution.
See, the point is, a lot of these people have no clue whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans. They don't follow this crap. All they know is their debit card to buy them food got shut down, and they're going to take it out on somebody.
Well, and they're going to say Donald Trump's president. It's got to be his fault, right? That's probably the case. Tell gets you into a factory warranty truck with the maintenance support you need to stay on the road and out of the shop. Visit tell360.com.
Ready to take the wheel of your future? With Transport Enterprise Leasing, you could start for just $500 down. Get new equipment, expert support, and a path to ownership, all with one of the lowest upfront costs in the industry. Whether you're starting out or leveling up, Tell is here to help you succeed. Visit tell360.com or call 866-404-6289. Use promo code overnight100 to get rolling today.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
We know being over the road isn't easy, but getting parts for your truck can be. Rainey's offers over 100,000 parts and accessories, from chrome to cab comforts, watermelon lights to necessary replacement parts. It's all available on our website. Got questions? Our team of experts has your back from start to finish with unmatched customer service you won't get anywhere else. Head to Rainey's.com to get $25 off any order over $250 with code DRIVE25 at checkout.
Diesel owners know if you take care of your engine, it'll return the favor. Hot Shot Secret formulates additives that help you prevent problems and boost performance. Diesel Extreme cleans internal and external injector deposits, and EDT increases fuel economy by up to 7.3%, scientifically proven by third-party testing. Add Hot Shot Secret at your next fill-up to get the most out of your diesel. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The White House warns the ongoing government shutdown could disrupt holiday travel, citing airport delays and FAA staffing shortages. White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt blames Democrats, saying they're prolonging the shutdown for illegal alien benefits, while 500,000 federal workers face missed paychecks. President Trump announced he will not be sending federal troops to the city of San Francisco this week, following calls from friends and local leaders praising the city's crime reduction efforts. He says Mayor Daniel Lurie requested a chance to continue the progress. California officials, including California Governor Gavin Newsom, had threatened legal action if federal forces were deployed, citing local law enforcement success in lowering crime to a 23-year low. At least half of U.S. states plan to cut food assistance on November 1st due to the government shutdown. Camille Till, who heads a food pantry in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, says the coming days could prove to be difficult.
The first of the month is generally when people receive their renewal if they currently receive food stamps. So we're going to be watching that week very closely to see if we have an influx in demand or new clients that need help.
SNAP recipients in 25 states, including California, Alabama, and New Jersey, are being notified that their benefits will not arrive, affecting millions of Americans. FBI agents have arrested 34 people, including NBA coach Chauncey Billups and Miami's Terry Rozier, in a massive gambling probe tied to organized crime rings. Officials say players and coaches exploited insider information and rigged poker games, costing victims millions. The NBA has put Billups and Rozier on leave as federal authorities crack down on corruption in sports. Wall Street closed with stocks higher.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 144 points, the S&P 500 rose 39 points, and the Nasdaq gained 201 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old-school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say: "We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great, and even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. So visit StrongTel.com right now. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. It's StrongTel.
This is lawless terror designed to incite violence.
New York City Council members and faith leaders lashed out at the Trump administration, demanding that President Trump not send National Guard into their city.
They got together at City Hall this morning to oppose what Council Speaker Adrienne Adams calls a disruption to the city's economy and public safety. She says for months the Trump administration has attacked New York City in ways to undermine public safety. She says the city does not need military or federal occupation. Trump has sent in National Guard troops to other cities, and Tuesday ICE agents were seen rounding up people in Chinatown during a crackdown of illegal street vending. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
Nancy Pelosi says California police could arrest federal agents who break state laws while enforcing Trump's immigration crackdown. San Francisco DA Brooke Jenkins backs the idea, although legal experts state that states have no authority to prosecute federal officials acting within their duties. Popular weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Zepbound are helping folks with sleep apnea.
Researchers reported at a meeting of the American College of Chest Physicians that those with type 2 diabetes taking the drugs were less likely to die within the following year, but patients in a study with sleep apnea did even better. Researchers looked at data on more than 1.5 million patients with type 2 diabetes, and over a quarter of them were prescribed weight loss drugs. Last year, the FDA approved Zepbound as the first drug to treat sleep apnea in adults with obesity. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
What if the music stopped? If the familiar voices were silenced? If there were no breaking news updates? What if your companion and connection to your community came with a monthly fee? Don't worry, we're free local radio with you wherever you go, celebrating 100 years and looking forward to the next 100. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local radio stations. By the National Association of Broadcasters.
Don't get stuck buying, or worse, leasing a used truck that's just going to break down. At TEL, we help owner-operators succeed with a new truck for as low as $500 down and affordable weekly payments with 24/7 support, plus access a network of top carriers. Choose an industry leader that has your back. Call TEL at 866-404-6289 or visit tel360.com. Use promo code overnight100.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme. The solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret. Powered by science.
We know you'd like to be cuddled up real tight with a sweet little thing all night.
But instead, you've got Steve Summers. It's the Overnight Drive.
All right, final hour. Pick it up right where we left off there. Pappy, bring it up. Desperate people will do desperate things. And when it comes to putting food on their table or their children's table, things could get a bit irrational, I guess is the word. I had the headline this past day, which reads, SNAP, that's food stamps, could break the Democrats and their resolve. I don't know. As the government shutdown enters its fourth week, mass layoffs, missed paychecks, halted infrastructure projects have done little to sway congressional Democrats into reopening the government. But the SNAP program, which they have long championed, set to run out of funds in just over a week. A development that could change the shutdown's trajectory. This program, administered by the Agriculture Department, helps feed more than 40 million people. Beginning November 1, at least 25 states plan to cut off SNAP benefits, including California, where 4.5 million people rely on SNAP to put food on the table. Now, with the launch of the opening of enrollment for the Affordable Care Act insurance plans, also occurring November 1, the looming food aid crisis has largely gone unnoticed by Democrats, who remain focused on the expiration of health care subsidies. On Tuesday, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer indicated that the imminent SNAP deadline would not change his party's calculus. It should change Republicans' calculus, he says, that they should sit down and negotiate a way to address this crisis. Ask if the issue's worth extending the shutdown beyond November 1, given the risk of elapsing food aid. Senator Elizabeth Warren told the outlet, quote, worth it to whom? The people who will lose their health care or to people who will lose their food? We're people who want Americans to have health care and food, she says. The Republicans evidently don't care whether they have either. Now, the administration has shifted funds to pay active duty troops. There's no indication as of yet it will redirect funds to patch up the food aid gap. The WIC program that provides baby formula and other nutritional aid also faces risk next month after the White House used some of President Trump's tariff revenue to fund it through the end of October. Administration officials and Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill who spoke with Politico slamming Democrats for cavalierly risking hunger among millions of low-income Americans just before the holidays. The shutdown is Democrat performance art. The audience starves while the elitist critics applaud, according to one White House official. What's it going to take for the Democrats to say, gee, maybe people should be able to eat? Says Senator Josh Hawley. It's not just Democrat-run states that will suffer when the SNAP funding runs out. Republican-led states are also at high risk, including large swaths of rural America that voted for Trump last November. House Speaker Mike Johnson Majority Leader Steve Scalise. Their home state of Louisiana has one of the program's highest participation rates in the country. Scalise said this past day that more than 800,000 state residents count on the program to feed their families. 3 people granted anonymity to speak freely told Politico that Democrats want the Department of Agriculture to tap into a $5 billion SNAP contingency fund to offset the approximately $9 billion in funding that's needed to cover the program's November costs. Democrat Senator Ben Lujan is among several senators calling for the administration to fund SNAP in the same way they funded WIC. I would argue that the same authorizations exist for SNAP, says Lujan. But again, we're just, 1 week away? Yes, Pappy said, I think, this is what the Dems want. They want chaos in the streets. So, yes, the clock is ticking with each passing day there. All right, see what Vic has going on here. Friday morning. Morning, Vic.
Well, I'll tell you. Hey, good morning, Steve. I was going to ask you, did you get that email I sent you about the Army or the National Guard
yes.
civil disturbance training?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
The training from back in 67.
It was classic. Yeah. I don't know if you read the whole thing or not. I did go back and read through it. It was classified 67 and got declassified. But the people running around saying that the National Guard isn't trained in that, and there are other things. I don't know where they're coming from. Now you're talking about they're worried about the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act so people can afford the insurance, not the health care, but the insurance. Then they turn around and say, well, we're not going to feed anybody because we want to continue the shutdown. Now, how many times have people said we need the nutrition for people's health? So they're going to go to people that really don't have, I guess you'd have to say, the best, the best health, or they don't make good choices in diet, one thing and another. But they're going to, in turn, make their health worse by basically starving them. And the other thing, too, is economically, that's going to put a world of hurt on the different grocery chains because they depend on that SNAP, the people coming in and buying groceries on SNAP. So there's going to be quite a chain reaction there. And, well, excuse me, I'm like buckwheat there. I'm still suffering from basically raising hogs and producing feed, and there's a disease that the hogs get called atrophic rhinitis. Basically, it kind of eats the lining out of your nose, then you have other problems. But anyway, when I was listening to him talking about losing his voice, I don't know, that may or might not have been the case, but I've suffered from it, and other people have too. So that might be what if he was handling hogs, might go back and take a look at that. But what I was talking about was all these different grocery chains that they buy all the processed food, and all that processed food in turn was the reason the SNAP is in the agriculture department, because they had to buy the raw ingredients from farmers. So there's going to be a whole chain reaction there economically, and whether Trump will get the ire of that or the Republicans, it is yet to be seen. But the one thing that I was going to talk about was the beef industry. They were talking about the dairy herd buyout and everything else. But another thing that happened to the beef people was they remember the mad cow disease, and they were feeding meat scraps or tankage to ruminants rather than high quality vegetable protein, and that really put a damper on demand for beef. That would have been like back in the 80s, 90s, somewhere through there, because of the cannibalistic thing. And Japan used to buy a lot of our beef when the mad cow disease broke out. They were all aware that if animals cannibalize one another, it gives them that I call it mad cow, but it's bovine spongiform.
Yep.
So a lot of people, they'd see pictures on TV of these animals falling down and one thing and another. But Japan found out that we were feeding, the United States was feeding this tankage or meat scraps to the cows. So then Japan came to the United States and started buying up a lot of ranch property, and they started feeding that. I was a little bit upset because they said we don't know how to feed beef, and then later on I found out that they were actually feeding meat scraps to beef, and I don't know who started that, but it caught me totally off guard because whenever you look at soybean meal, soybean demand, there's something called grain-consuming animal units, and all of my trading farmers at that time used that, and I couldn't figure out why soybean meal wasn't disappearing at the proper rate, and then I found out what it was. So it was something they really didn't advertise, and it also gives an off flavor to the meat and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, but between the dairy herd buyout, that bovine spongiform, and just one thing after another, they started putting a lot of individual producers out, and I believe it wound up there are 4 big beef processors right now, and I believe the Department of Justice has an antitrust case against them, or they started one or whatever, and they were claiming that there was a company over at Fort Wayne called Agristat, and somehow, some way, they were part of helping the beef processors to manipulate the market. So I really haven't kept up with that because there is no more, I guess you'd have to say, animal market because it's all either contract to the beef packers and everything else. So as far as the high price of beef right now, that Drover's Journals is a animal, basically an animal magazine, and they had a whole breakdown on it here. I think they put it out like once a month. The last one I seen, nobody was making any money in the beef industry right now. Even the packers were losing money, and the only people that was making money was the retailer when they sold it. And people are still, paying these high prices for beef and other protein. But again, you go back to the SNAP benefits, I guess we're going to find out how much of that margin for the retailer is driven by SNAP. So when, as they say, rubber's going to meet the road come the 1st of November, or probably about 10 days afterwards. So whenever Trump says we're going to import from Argentina, or also Brazil, I'm not exactly sure where that's going to gain him, because the big problem right now is the small herd, and everybody's saying, when are the ranchers going to expand? Well, if they start importing beef,
they're not going to expand.
It's going to be a long time before.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly. They're just going to, the status quo continues. I mean, so it's almost like they're going to have to get something worked out for the SNAP benefits, but the figure in that story said $9 billion in SNAP benefits is the cost to the federal government to cover the month of November. Easy math says if the entire month went by and no SNAP benefits were divvied out, that's $9 billion in grocery store sales that will not be taking place. I don't see that happening, but
Ready to take the wheel of your future? With Transport Enterprise Leasing, you can start for just $500 down. Get new equipment, expert support, and a path to ownership, all with one of the lowest upfront costs in the industry. Whether you're starting out or leveling up, TEL is here to help you succeed. Visit tel360.com or call 866-404-6289. Use promo code overnight100 to get rolling today.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. We know being over the road isn't easy, but getting parts for your truck can be. Rainey's offers over 100,000 parts and accessories, from chrome to cab comforts, watermelon lights to necessary replacement parts. It's all available on our website. Got questions? Our team of experts has your back from start to finish with unmatched customer service you won't get anywhere else. Head to Rainey's.com to get $25 off any order over $250 with code DRIVE25 at checkout.
Diesel owners know if you take care of your engine, it'll return the favor. Hot Shot secret formulates additives that help you prevent problems and boost performance. Diesel Extreme cleans internal and external injector deposits, and EDT increases fuel economy by up to 7.3%. Scientifically proven by third-party testing. Add Hot Shot secret at your next fill-up to get the most out of your diesel. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
All right, back on a Friday, and what's going on, Pup?
Oh, not a lot, Steve. It got a little foggy there on 275 down by the river. But, hey, I don't know. I go to the grocery store, but I don't look. How much is a pound of hamburger nowadays at the grocery store?
You know, the princess normally makes the order, and I just go pick stuff up. You know what I mean? I think $7.99 a pound sounds about right.
Oh, Lord. I don't know. I buy mine. I either buy a half a beef or a whole beef. But it's so much cheaper that way. I mean, time you get your processing done and everything, you'll have less than $4 a pound in it. And that includes your roast, your hamburger, your steaks, minute steaks, all that. I don't know. I don't ever shop for beef at a grocery store, but you know, on that SNAP deal, I mean, I'm afraid to admit, or not afraid, ashamed to, I should say something, but I know people that have really good jobs, make a good living, and then they got them SNAP cards, and their kids get free meals at the schoolhouse. I don't know if they could just got rid of the fraud. I bet you they could cut that in half or by a quarter. But you was talking about the food. What's going to be worse than that is if the electricity they ever get us was one of those electric bombs and we lose our electricity.
Mm-hmm.
That's even going to be worse. So. But I know there's got to be lots of, I'm not sure if I heard it on your show or Fort Wayne, but they just had a big old bust where people were selling their cards for like 50 cents on the dollar or something like that, so they could have cash and then go spend it on dope or whatever they do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Nope, we just out here cruising around. I'll tell you what, I am not ready for this cold weather.
I'm never ready for
all
the
I had.
cold weather. Yeah, we got our first right. I'm showing 33 outside the secret bunker at this moment. Supposed to have some frost this morning. All right, I did a quick. So this is going to be like in my local area. Your beef prices. Yeah, you got the 93% lean Kroger lean ground. It's $8.99 a pound, 1 pound chub. The 73% lean at $5.99 for a pound. Let's see. There are some other the Laura's lean is like $9.99 a pound, but I think that's 96% lean, isn't it? That's really lean stuff. Inter-America Products ground beef $9.49. That's 93% lean. So yeah, Laura's lean beef $8.99. Cheapest you're looking at, that's 73% lean. That's a lot of grease, a lot of fat. $5.99 at Kroger. All right, Knuckle Buster back on board here this Friday. Yes, sir.
Morning again, Mr. Steve Sommers. That's a lot for some beef there. You can you get with your family and split it 3 ways there and buy you a whole cow from a farmer, get it processed and all that stuff, but that's only if the entire family can afford it there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, you can just go down there to buy you a steak, cut all that fat off of there yourself, and get you a meat grinder and grind it up. And it could be a lot cheaper that way too, probably. I don't know. Might be. I don't know. I just go in there and buy what I need and go on there. Of course, I ain't buying but for myself now, so well, it's I like all my food from America, Steve. Potatoes from Idaho, oranges from Florida, strawberries from the south down here. Did you say it was 33 degrees up there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Well, I like this 59 down here right now, right outside of Memphis. So, you want me to send some of this heat up your way?
I would much appreciate it. Yes, I'll trade you that any day. 59 for a 33.
Well, I'll send some up your way there. And I like my women American made too, just like the old Bridge boys saying that song. My baby's American made, born and bred in the USA.
Yes, sir.
Steve, you've had a great show. I'm going to give another simplified shout out to Truck and Field. I know he's just right around the corner, right?
That is correct. You are right. I'll be giving him a shout out here in
all right.
In a matter of minutes. Truck and Field, you got it coming up. Operate under your own authority and choose your carrier. Tel gives you the freedom to run your business your way. Visit tel360.com.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The Senate has once again blocked efforts to pay U.S. troops and Defense Department workers during the ongoing government shutdown. Democrats voted down the measure, saying it would give President Trump too much flexibility. Republicans accused Democrats of putting partisan politics ahead of the military and working families. President Trump says his administration is taking aim at international drug cartels, calling them the ISIS of the West.
Under the Trump administration, we're finally treating the cartels as the core national security threat that they really are.
At a White House crime roundtable, he highlighted signing executive orders and recent destruction of narco-terrorist boats. Trump was joined by top officials, including AG Pam Bondi and Homeland Security Chief Kristi Noem.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 144 points, the S&P 500 rose 39 points, and the NASDAQ gained 201 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. You can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 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 855-SHARE-40.
Ready to take the wheel of your future? With Transport Enterprise Leasing, you can start for just $500 down. Get new equipment, expert support, and a path to ownership, all with one of the lowest upfront costs in the industry. Whether you're starting out or leveling up, TEL is here to help you succeed. Visit tel360.com or call 866-404-6289. Use promo code OVERNIGHT100 to get rolling today.
At Hotshot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
stiction.
Found throughout the oil system, stiction is the sticky friction that negatively impacts your engine's ability to function at an optimal level. The molecular structure of oil is a hydrocarbon. The engine's extreme heat, tight tolerances, and high pressure cause the oil to break down and release hydrogen, leaving behind varnish, a carbon-based deposit. The varnish clings to the engine's moving parts, creating drag on the turbocharger, oil pump, and pistons. Symptoms of stiction include a rough idle and the loss of fuel economy and performance. Hotshot Secret Stiction Eliminator delivers a 98% clean rating in third-party scrub tests. Its synthetic cleaner plus nano lubricant contains no harmful solvents and is formulated to be left in the engine to safely dissolve stiction for thousands of miles. It works as you drive.
Stiction Eliminator is available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hotshot Secret, powered by science.
Truckers, meet the Speedmax Pro Max, the tire built for serious hauls and serious peace of mind. With rugged construction and performance you can count on, Pro Max is made for the long road ahead. And here's the best part. It comes with an 8-year warranty. That's right, 8 years of confidence, mile after mile. Ask Speedmax. Drive far. Drive strong. For more info, call 860-436-4100 or buy online at digitire.com. When your injectors fail, your truck and your paycheck stop moving. At Industrial Injection, we remanufacture diesel injectors to perform better than brand new. Tighter specs, cleaner fuel delivery, and tested in-house by diesel experts. Plus, we build turbos, pumps, engine kits, and more, all backed by over 40 years in the diesel industry. It doesn't matter if you're running on modern common rail or legacy mechanical. We've got you covered. Call 800-955-0476 or visit industrialinjection.com. Knowledge you trust, quality you depend on. Tired of the guesswork when it comes to your load weight? With Rightway, stay in control on the road and on the DOT's good side. From onboard load scales to Bluetooth-enabled monitoring, Rightway helps truckers and fleets cut down on time, fines, and fuel waste, all without hitting the scale. Smarter hauling starts here. Want more details? Head over to rwls.com. Rightway. Drive more, scale less.
Keep the bugs off your glass and the smokies off your ass. This is the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Alrighty, real quick, I was looking at I mentioned the beef prices thing. Pup was kind of floored. What's it costing for a pound? Because I guess they get the whole cow, the half cow. I found one of the, this is what, Grump was talking about the local farms and whatnot, the farmers, where you buy in bulk and whatnot. Let's see, 40 pound of buy in bulk, 40 pounds of premium ground beef at the best deal ever. 40 pounds of our farm-raised, grain-fed ground beef at just $5.50 a pound. So you're talking $220 for a 40-pound bundle. Let me see. You want a whole pig? A whole beef share, as it's called, $3,400 is what it's showing from this local farm. Hey, it ain't cheap, is it? All right, hello there, Grump. Speaking of.
No, it's not cheap at all, but there's other alternatives of making it cheaper. That SNAP program's about $148 billion a year deal. Some say it makes up about 15% of our total budget, our deficit. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly what the deficit is going to be, for this year. But that's still a chunk of change. And when you break that down, about $14 billion of it is administrative costs. And then you look at outside of the administrative cost is setting it up in the stores and everything. That's about $3 billion to set it up. And then you just keep breaking it down and breaking it down and breaking it down, until it finally gets to the meat and bones of how much money people get. Now, I saw those videos and was watching them there, that Pappy was talking about. And I don't believe it's desperation at all. I think it's frustration. Number one, people that they were interviewing is going to have to come up with the money that they're used to spending on all the crap that they have in their life. Like that one black kid that was standing there and he was talking about, I'll go back to robbing. I'll go back to, breaking into cars and stuff like that had that damn pair of Nike tennis shoes on that was probably $300. A hat on and everything. What he didn't have on was work boots and a freaking hard hat. Anything at all that could get him to depend on his own abilities or to better himself in any way possible, that he could feed his family, and not have to worry about a government shutdown. And this is something that just burns my ass to no end, Steve, is why government is looking at this and going, all right, you're going to get $1,600 a month, pointing at a mother of two. That where's the fathers at? Number one, where are they at? They're out of the picture, but they're going to get about $1,600 to $2,200 a month in food assistance alone, right there. And she's going to sit on her big ass and gripe because she ain't getting more. And one of the things that just burns me up is saying, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you $800 a month in assistance, and we're going to pay you another $800 a month to get your ass out and find a damn job or go to school or get in some kind of vocational program where you can support yourself, be self-sufficient. It used to be a temporary step for people to get food stamps. It used to be, all right, you got 6 weeks to find a job and blah, blah, blah. Now it's long-term care. It's like going to a damn nursing home. And who created this environment? It's the damn Democrats that are still standing there telling these people that are on the SNAP programs and things like that, the ones that don't need to be on there, number one, that they're victims of some sort, that they have to have government in their lives. And this has been the narrative for as long as I can remember. It just, when I was a young police officer, got out of the military, I retired early out of the military, 15 years, went back in reserves, got on the police department. The first damn thing out of their mouths when I was going through orientation at the police department was, you qualify for all these programs because of your wages. And I said, or I can find a second freaking job, if I need money like that, or if I need any kind of, my son was, he wasn't born yet. My wife was pregnant, and we just decided way back then that pride was going to get in the way, that it is it's not going to be allowable for me to get, to take on all these damn programs and every damn thing, WIC or whatever. I mean, it wasn't going to happen. And people looked at me like I was crazy. Said, you could take that stuff and sell it for 30 cents on the dollar, and stuff to people that need it, that want it. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is the system right here that people need so damn bad is the simple fact that they're taking the cash. They're selling their EBT cards, which back then it wasn't EBT cards. It was just I guess it was some kind of a damn booklet or something like that where you get food stamps or whatever. And I thought, this is the first damn thing I'm going to do as a police officer. By God, in small communities, going to be looking at these things like this and talking to the people that actually gives these things out and say, look, what are you guys doing to stop this? Let me tell you what they're doing, Steve. They're not doing a damn thing. Because the more money that's poured into WIC, that's poured into the SNAP, that's poured into all the rest of these, the more administration cost that goes to keeping their asses in a job. So there is no incentive for any government employee or any state employee to slow this process down, get people off of it, get them out into the workforce, because, number one, their job is in jeopardy when that happens. And so this shutdown, is it a bad thing? No, I don't think so. When everybody talks about, well, there's going to be a lot of hungry people. No, there's going to be a lot of people that has to figure life out, a lot of people that has to decide on whether they actually need that $1,200, $1,300 damn cell phone, or does their kids need food. And this society that we've created, that is a necessity for more junk than anything, more reasons to avoid responsibility. Maybe shutdowns are what we need in this country. Maybe we need a hell of a lot more of them. Maybe there's people out there that actually wants to get off their ass and find a job, but yet they've been told so damn many times that, this is the way to be. You don't have to get out. You can be at home with your child. Hell, I can't. Never have been. Even when my kid was little, I worked, was on the road. Look at all the truck drivers out here. That's one of the reasons we have such a high turnover rate, is because people want to be home with their families once in a while. But there's also something called responsibility, and that's providing for your family. I have sacrificed time with my family, just like you have, everybody else has, to make sure that the bills are paid and that you're not looking at the government for a damn handout. So I'm not so sure that this is such a bad thing, if you know what I mean. Maybe it's time that people makes a decision on actually what their priorities are. Is it my family, or is it that instrument that I can hold in my hand and get on Facebook and bitch about why I got to go back to work? I'm just not at all convinced that this is such a bad thing. Yes, there is people that needs help, and I am all for helping them. But there is people that milks these programs to hell wouldn't have it. I mean, they are the problem. And and like I said, if you got government employees that are looking to get people off of these programs, then you're getting into their bread and butter, because the less people that are on these programs, the less likely is that they're going to need that whole full staff in that office that's pushing this stuff like it's some kind of damn fentanyl-laced whatever. And so I'd like to feel sorry for a lot of people, but I don't. I just think that, you are what you are. If you really are hungry, you'll find a way to eat. Honestly, get out and find a damn job. If you got to get out and sweat a little bit, and that's just what life's all about. It's not about sitting on the couch watching freaking The View or Oprah or some crap like that with a cell phone in one hand and a damn EBT card in the other, and going to the store and saying, well, I can, hell, I can swipe this and, I can get all the food I want. While the guy that's working there with a hard hat on and the damn work boots is standing there in line paying for his stuff with cash, and he's being decisive about what he buys. So, no, I'm not really giving a damn whether they ever open this government back up. To be honest with you, it'd suit me if they gutted it and we paid our military and stuff like that. But we look at all the bloat and we look at all the freebies that is handed out here and all these government jobs that we don't need, and take a damn good look at them and say, how many people can we put in vocational schools that can get off their ass and find a job if we divert these funds from over here to over here and say, all right, we're going to pay your school, but you're going to get your ass out and get a job, because once you accept this, there is no freebies.
You said
So
that there are people, like you mentioned, for people that actually need assistance. Yeah, I can reflect back some 40 years ago when I was young, just married, and I think Bethany had been born, and we were kind of struggling. It was with a sense of embarrassment that I actually went in. I didn't have the money to put food on the table, but I actually got assistance for a short period of time till I was able to get a job, and that's what it's supposed to be, right? I needed help, and that's what it was. It got me through 3 months, 6 months, whatever it was at the time, until I was able to get a job. And then, of course, you got an income, all right, you're not eligible anymore. But, I mean, I can't imagine, being embarrassed to even go get it. How can people, live years and years and years? The 28-year-old woman Drummer Girl was talking about ain't worked a day in her damn life, and she's pissed off that she might lose her free food stamps.
And it's no longer about embarrassment. It's a sense of pride when people can wave that EBT card in your face and say, look what I'm getting for free. Hell, back in the day when you needed it, if I would have actually needed something, when I first got out of the military, we saved our butts off, when I was in the service. Hell, when I got out of service, dude, we had $109,000 saved up in cash. And that was the whole years that I was in the military. Every time I went on a deployment, that money went in the bank. And so we were able to buy a house, pay cash for a house. And it wasn't much of a house, to pay $48,000 for it, but by God, it was mine. And when you look at things, how it was, and yes, it was an embarrassment. I remember when I was young kid, when Dad got laid off, he was working at a place there. He had to make a decision on whether he wanted, whether we was going to get some kind of food stamps or whatever. He took his last paycheck that he got and went and bought a damn lawnmower and went out and mowed yards. That's how we survived, and things. And was it embarrassing for him to get out and mow yards to help feed his family? No, it was honest work. Hell, anything that's honest. But you look at the people today, and it's a badge of honor for some of these people to stand there, in line and wave that EBT card around like, looky here. And, they can get a certain amount, the way I understand it, on cash. Like if they get something and it's, a certain amount of money, or they can go to the ATM machine and get a certain amount of cash off there, not much for gas and things like that. How many of them are buying beer and crap like that with that cash? It's like I said, it's like it's a badge of honor, man. And there is no more embarrassment about it or anything else. It's this percentage of this population that have got it in their damn head that they're victims of some sort because they got 9 freaking kids they can't afford, a pocket full of plastic, a $1,200 cell phone in their hand, just in case some employer gets a wild hair up their ass and says, maybe I need this slug over here to come in here for a couple of days and work. The cell phone is for them to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't make it that day.
Yeah. I can't work Fridays. I can't work Saturdays. Yes. And that's the mentality, really. I mean, you give them an opportunity. And I mean, people that I know that run businesses and try to, line up people to do like construction work and things of that nature, said you'll hire them and be paying them a decent wage. They'll work 2-3 days and then not show up. Yeah, they'll work Wednesday, Thursday, and say, I can't work Friday. No, I can't work Saturday. No. Dude, do you want a job or do you not want a job? Hey, Pappy said, nominate the Grump for the big cookie this Friday morning. Let me see. There's Steve in Columbus. Friday morning. The weekend is upon us. Looking forward to resting, getting a few things done around the home 20. The coffee's hot. Pickup ready to go. Time to head into town, see what we can get into this Friday. Yes, Steve, and you probably did have to warm it up a little bit, right? It's a little chilly out there this Friday morning. There is Truckinville. Happy Casual Friday. Coffee up. Good morning, Mr. Sommers, the Hot Shot Secret Nation, and the great product of Staybill. Starting off at 36, 54 the high, 42 to 49. Boy, you're not even going to get 50 today, Newaygo, Michigan. Big shout out to the Knucklebuster, Roll On Knucklebuster, and all the veterans out there. Another working Saturday with 4 more left in the year. Have a great weekend, everybody. Oh, yes, 62 days till Christmas.
Ready to take the wheel of your future? With Transport Enterprise Leasing, you can start for just $500 down. Get new equipment, expert support, and a path to ownership, all with one of the lowest upfront costs in the industry. Whether you're starting out or leveling up, TEL is here to help you succeed. Visit tel360.com or call 866-404-6289. Use promo code OVERNIGHT100 to get rolling today. Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
We know being over the road isn't easy, but getting parts for your truck can be. Rainey's offers over 100,000 parts and accessories, from chrome to cab comforts, watermelon lights to necessary replacement parts. It's all available on our website. Got questions? Our team of experts has your back from start to finish with unmatched customer service you won't get anywhere else. Head to Rainey's.com to get $25 off any order over $250 with code DRIVE25 at checkout.
Diesel owners know if you take care of your engine, it'll return the favor. Hot Shot secret formulates additives that help you prevent problems and boost performance. Diesel Extreme cleans internal and external injector deposits, and EDT increases fuel economy by up to 7.3%, scientifically proven by third-party testing. Add Hot Shot secret at your next fill-up to get the most out of your diesel. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
All right, headed down the home stretch here as we get set to roll into the weekend. Say, Eagle, you got some sentiments in regards to the government shutdown thing? Is that what you...
Yeah. I wanted to make some comments about the shutdown deal. Still, I commented a little earlier in the week on that situation. Come November the 1st. Pappy was talking about, he was concerned with the way people will react on November the 1st if these people don't receive their government handout, and that's what it is, a handout. So I say, that these different cities around the major cities around America need to get prepared. If it take the National Guard, if it take the military, if it take, the local police, at these stores, these facilities, they can't leave these people off, by themselves. They got to protect these people because nobody, you're a thief, you're a criminal. I don't care if you got 10 kids. If you go to the grocery store and still try to walk out with a basket full of groceries that you didn't pay for, you're nothing but a criminal. Whether you're trying to feed your kids or not, just because you're hungry, don't mean that you have the right to steal. Am I right or am I wrong, Steve?
I know there are many services. They say that there are church pantries and food banks that are, I guess, right now trying to stock up to get ready to help as many people. They're expecting a surge if this actually happens November 1.
Yeah, well, like I said, if they were smart, they would realize who their real problem is, and come election time, they wouldn't never, ever vote for another Democrat. These Democrats don't care. Chuck Schumer's the top Democrats. They don't give a damn about these people not having been. They're doing this. They're trying to basically sabotage Donald Trump to make him look bad, to make his economy bad, to try to get people to turn against him. And hopefully the Republicans, they'll vote for a Democrat midterms. But they don't realize the Democrats are the one that's doing all this. But like I said before, Steve, you got these people making videos, saying they're going to do this, they're going to do that. More than likely, they're not going to do anything. But if they do try, you had all them guys up there in Chicago. They was talking a lot of trash on the internet, saying that they wasn't go let Donald Trump come in there and take over the city. And you see how quiet it is. They didn't do a damn thing when Donald Trump got there. And the same thing is going to happen when come November the 1st, if it's still shut down. These people, they're not going to do nothing. If you might have a few knuckleheads, you always do. But if anybody thinks they're going to go into your local Kroger or whatever they want to do and load up a basket full of groceries and walk right out the front door, you better think again. Because I promise you that law enforcement or somebody will put a stop to it, and you'll find yourself behind bars, and then you'll be in a worse position than you are in right now. So it's best to go ahead and like Rump said earlier in the week, instead of asking for a handout for the government, go buy you a pair of work boots and a work outfit and fill out some job applications. And guess what? Maybe you might not need to get money from the government, but I guess these people are too stupid to figure that out, too. And I thank you for taking my call.
All right. With that, we're rolling into the weekend there. All right. So I'm going to keep an eye on Melissa. Going to kind of meander through the Caribbean. At some point expected to really begin ramping up. Could become a Category 4, Category 5. Next week, of course, we'll be here keeping track where Melissa will maybe team up with a dip in the jet stream over the eastern seaboard. The odds of any direct rain and wind impact from Melissa reaching the East Coast are still low, but there are several scenarios that could bring Melissa closer to South Florida at the very least, and maybe some indirect impacts, not only to South Florida, but well to the north along the Atlantic coast. We'll track that for you in the week ahead. Have a safe weekend. Thanks for being a part of the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
You'll never guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Better from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, 'cause I